What's going on, brothers? What is going on? What's going on? If you can hear me in the live stream chat, type a one. Who is here? Type a one. Type a one, brothers. Y'all here with me? Who's here? Type a one in the live stream chat. Y'all here? What's up? 1-1 Excel, mate. See who else is? Let's go. Who else is gonna be jumping, man? Type a one in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Let's go. Come on, type a one, man. We got another exciting stream today. How y'all doing though, man? How did your weekend go? Y'all good, brothers? Anything interesting? Javier Gomez, Bill Hampton, awesome, man, awesome. How is everyone? Shout out to Javier. Bill, what's up, Bill? Macy, what's up, bro? What time is over there where y'all at? What time is over there? Oh, yeah, where y'all at, man? What time is over there? Where are y'all at? What time is over there, bruv? What time? What time is over there where y'all at? 2:40 p.m. Melbourne. Damn. And you're on Twitch too? What's up? Bill Hampton, 11:40 p.m. Who else is here, man? This is awesome. Damn. Okay, we may even crash on kick on Twitch. 9:40 p.m. Seattle. Awesome. 12:40 USA. Let's go. All right, let's get this cracking, man. So let me just share my screen, right? So today's live stream topic, we're gonna react to a lot of things today. We're also going to speak about, multiple passports, how to protect yourself as the whole world goes crazier. So let me just share my screen, right? Hold on. Share screen. Give me a second. Video file.
You think you have is
so I want to react to an interesting clip that ties into the live stream topic in regards to, the importance of having multiple passports in order to free yourself. Now, the last couple of years, man, it's getting real spooky, right? It's getting let's say, people have less freedoms. People feel stuck. People feel like they can't go anywhere. People are stuck in a never-ending loop, and you don't want to be in that situation. So it's very important you start looking into avenues that can help free yourselves, or at the very least, give you some sort of freedom in your life in some shape or form. So I'm gonna play a skip over here, and we're gonna react to it.
the freedom you think you have is only an illusion. The last 3 years around the globe
Let me remove that banner from the bottom.
Have shown us how our governments respond to unprecedented crisis, authoritarian regulations, enforced health mandates, coercion by financial means.
Yep. And you know what? The key part here, right, is like, actually, let's carry on watching.
And extreme surveillance and censorship. Now, in 2023, we're left with the aftermath of hyperinflation, banks failing, and collective trauma. And many of us have an understanding that we're not truly as free or sovereign as we once thought we were.
Facts, absolute facts. Like, do you feel free, bros? Do you feel free? Honestly, like, with everything going on since 2020, I feel like the world changed, so badly and drastically since 2020. Like, a lot of people are not happy. 2020 was that pivot point where things just went to ish from a finance perspective, from a social perspective, from a dating perspective, from a perspective where a lot of people can't even travel right now, right, to experience different cultures, different women, etc., etc. Ask yourself this question, my bros: do you feel free? And the answer probably be no, right? So you need to actually look at what avenues are available for you to free yourself. Now, one major thing that stops us being free is visa requirements. If you want to go to a country where you need a visa, that makes the process a lot more longer. If you want to buy a property in a different country, not having a passport of that country makes it even harder, and there's a lot more obstacles, right? So that's why in this stream topic, we are going to talk about multiple passports. Okay, let's kind of watching.
Let me introduce the idea of becoming a global citizen.
I agree, global citizen, and and I feel like that's what we need right now. That's what us men should be striving towards too. You want to have a base in Europe, in Africa, in South America, in Asia, where you can bounce between your main bases there and live life to its fullest. Your base may be the Philippines. Okay, so what can you build in the Philippines that can make you have a base there? Is there a condo? Is there a property? Can you get a Philippines passport? Then you want to bounce between Panama. I've been Panama, bro. Right? And if you have Panama as your base, right, that I'm telling you, Panama will change your life, bro. So imagine jumping between America, Panama, Philippines, Ghana, etc., etc. That's what you should be striving towards to, having these mini bases, right? But at the same time, right, having multiple passports. Shout out to Marvin Lloyd here saying, waiting on my passport, I got 2 of them. What passports do you have, bro? Break it down for us, bro. What passports do you have from what countries? Facts. Because having a passport means that you are a citizen of that country. You can also buy property in that country. Your rights are respected in that country, right? Being a passport, bro, is more than just women. At this point in time, freedom is at stake right here, right now, brothers.
To where you're treated best, collecting passports and setting up bases in a variety of places around the world.
She knows it, bro. And this is my first time watching this clip off rip. No cap. Notice how I spoke about having a base. These people get it, man. Listen, brothers, there's 2 lives that's being lived right now. Either you're in the dark or you're in the goddamn light, bro. Either you're in the dark or you're in the goddamn light, bro. Right? If you're in the dark, you're suffering, you ain't gonna make it, you're in the system, you're in the matrix. But if you're in the light, you're free. Listen, brothers, I know it may seem like a lot of people are going through it right now, but a lot of people are also not going through it right now. People are still driving Lamborghinis. People are still traveling from one country to another country. People are still partying in Monaco. People are still partying in Tokyo, etc., etc. Do you feel me, brothers? Do you feel me? Do you feel me? What kind of life do you want, brothers? Listen, I don't want to crash out right now, man. All right? I don't want to crash out right now. Okay? But I'm telling you that this is my passion to me, man. Right? I'm telling you, like, brothers, you gotta get free. Gotta get free. Gotta get free, bro. Let's carry on watching.
where you can have multiple locations for residency, business, and investments. Because travel freedom does equal personal freedom. And
Facts, man. Facts. Listen, freedom ain't no goddamn video games. Freedom ain't no goddamn going to Five Guys and having a nice big burger, right? Freedom isn't what's it called? Oh, for me, I'm free if I'm able to wake up and go to the grocery stores. But listen, man, be real with yourself. Be real with yourself, right? You want to be free, truly free. For me, it's traveling. For me, it's traveling. For me, it's traveling, bro. For me, it's having an investment. It's for me saying like, listen, I'm tired. I want to go. I want to go to this country and chill out there for a month. Timo, like, so I'm telling you, brothers, like it's very important. Like, if you can, like, I'm telling you, like, and it also like involves like the woman you get with as well. If a woman is come from a different backgrounds, bro, right? Different backgrounds, even greater, even greater. That means your kids gonna have like opportunities to get multiple passports. Like you don't want to be tied down to the Western hegemony, man. There's more to life than Western countries. I promise you, bro. I promise you. I promise you. Right? It's kind of watching.
in times of uncertainty, power comes from having options. One of the most popular ways to gain citizenship
Options, facts. Power comes from having options. Hey, I want to party in Tokyo next week. Okay, I'm going to Tokyo. Hey, I want to party in Panama next month. I'm going to Panama. I got a Panamanian passport.
in another country is through investment. For example, some countries in Central and South America, like Brazil or Costa Rica, offer a $150,000 investment into the country's real estate, which then gains you residency and then opens up the pathway to citizenship.
Now, I know y'all may think that's a lot, right? But listen, for American bros, right? If you're America and you're not using America to your advantage, like what's going on here? You have the biggest stock market in the world in America, the biggest companies in the world in America, the best tech job scene in America. That's why I push tech. Imagine like you work a tech job, right, and they pay you RSUs, 100K a year RSUs. And over the years, you stack up, brothers, you have enough money to invest in a different country and gain citizenship there in that country. That's a game right now, bro. That's a game right now.
An alternative way is through birth tourism, and it is the pathway that I'm currently taking. The term is called Jus Soli. When you're born on the land, you gain nationality. By birthing a child abroad, they automatically become a citizen of that country, and you, as the parent of that child, gain automatic residency with a pathway to citizenship. Currently, around 31 countries offer birthright citizenship in this way. We chose Central.
Damn. Wow. Let's run that back.
With a pathway to citizenship. Currently, around 30
Argentina, Belize, Bolivia. Okay, so out of that list, right? What would I want to be a citizen of? What countries? Argentina, no, no way. Belize, yes. Brazil, yes. Canada, yes. Costa Rica, yes. El Salvador, yes. Especially with their banking system, absolutely yes.
31 countries offer birth.
Let's see. Panama, you see, Panama offers birthright citizenship. Panama offers birthright citizenship. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Yes. Mexico, yes.
birthright citizenship in this way. We chose Central America because of its forward-thinking regulations about the freedom money, which is Bitcoin, and countries like El Salvador offering zero tax for all tech innovation in the country. Some say El Salvador will be the next Dubai or Singapore, but we think that it will be so much more. Now, I'm not suggesting that you get pregnant to gain another passport elsewhere. However, if you already are or you're planning to be, it could be an interesting investment opportunity that not only creates more options for you, but also for your child's future and generations to come.
Facts. So you got a foreign check, right? You want to, and I don't care how this sounds, right? But this is what the elites do. You want to strategically place her in a country to get citizenship from that country for you, her, and your child, right? And not like, listen, stop playing the game fair, bro. A lot of people are not playing the game fair. A lot of people are not playing the game fair. People are gaming the system. People are strategizing. If you want to become a citizen of a particular country, right? Take your pregnant wife and yourself and her to a country, have your child there, you gain citizenship there. And that's multiple. That's maybe your US, bro. That's US. Maybe you want to birth the child in Panama. You gain citizenship for your child, you and your wife in Panama. Right? And I've come across people, right, that have like 5 passports. I'm thinking, how you got 5 passports? Because their parents do some ish like that, bro. They strategize. I feel like a lot of brothers, a lot of black people, we ain't thinking like these kind of people, man. We're not. We're trying to play the game a bit too fair. A bit too fair. Right? So having multiple passports, right, will give you the opportunity to become free, investments, buy property abroad, be a citizen, getting the benefits of that country, etc., etc. Damn. So I wanna share like a website here, right? I want to share a website. Okay. So we got a website here that has like how to get citizenships in multiple countries via investments. So this country here, if you invest 90K in their country, you get citizenships within 3 to 6 months. If you have a bit more money, you invest in, let's say, Grenada, you get a citizenship in 8 to 10 months. Right? And look at all these countries that offer citizenship by birthplace. You are a citizen by birth if you were born in that country. This is regardless of your parents' citizenship. America, Canada, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico. Citizenship by descent. So this is a key part here. Looking at your family history, right? If at least one parent is a national of that nation or a child born abroad to a national of that nation, they may be able to get citizenship by descent. So if your parent, right, if one of your parents is Panamanian, right, you can get citizenship by descent, right? Or if one of your parents is, let's say, what's on the list over here, German, right? You can also get German citizenship, and that's flipping amazing, right? Try and stack up all these passports as possible. What can you get? There's so many ways to get citizenship, brothers. There's so many ways to stack up passports, right? Citizenship by neutralization. If you're in a country for a particular period of time, maybe 5 years, 10 years, you can get a passport. If you marry a chick, right, from, let's say, citizenship by marriage. Some countries allow citizenship by marriage if you follow the legal requirements. mostly requires years of residency in that country and language tests. So if you married, let's say, a chick from Brazil, right, and you know Portuguese, and you live there for 1 year. Listen, Brazil offers 1 year. Brazil offers citizenship by marriage. If you marry a Brazilian chick and you live there for 1 year, only 1 year, brothers, and you know Portuguese, you can absolutely learn Portuguese in 1 year, bro. You can absolutely learn Portuguese in 1 year. Don't play with me, brothers. Don't cap. So let's say, right, you meet a Brazilian baddie, peanut butter, brown skin, long curly hair baddie. You meet her in Sao Paulo, right? You get married to her. You live in Brazil for 1 year minimum. Within 1 year, you can learn Portuguese, bro. And within 1 year, after 1 year, sorry, you can get citizenship by marriage in Brazil. And let's say you're a dude, right, that wants to have multiple women. And guess what, right? I'm okay with dudes having multiple chicks. I'm okay with that, bro. You know what? Like, in fact, if you can actually afford and have multiple chicks, go for it. Let's say you get married to a Brazilian chick. And then let's say you get married to a Belize chick. Let's say you get married to a Spanish chick, right? After 1 year, you can get a Spanish passport, a Belizean passport, a Brazilian passport. You're also American. You have an American passport. That's 4 passports so far. If you've got money and you want to invest in, let's say, a country like Grenada or Sao Tome and Principe, that's 5 passports, bro. You're free, man. You're free, bruh. That's the game right now. That's what the elites do, bro. The ones in Monaco, the ones in Dubai, the ones in Turks and Caicos. Listen, listen right now. Listen to me right now, brothers, right? There's 2 worlds right now. Either you're in the dark or either you're in the light. And guess what? You don't want to be in the dark, bro. That means you don't know nothing. You're in that hamster wheel for the system. You're in the matrix. Do you want to be free? Hey, I want to be in Panama next month, bro. I got a Panamanian passport. I'm gonna travel there immediately. I got a condo there in Panama. I'm free, bro. I'm free, bro. I'm free, bro. In fact, freedom is the biggest thing right now you need as a man. If you ain't free, you're finished, right? If you ain't free, you're finished. Having multiple passports will give you access to the country's stock market system to invest in stocks, to buy property there, right? You have legal protections in that country, right? So all you got to do is have a tech job, remote tech job, right? And then all you got to do, and that's the only thing you should be going for, nothing else, a remote tech job. And then all you got to do is be healthy, sleep right, eat right. Don't drink too much alcohol, too much junk food, hit the gym, do your cardio, think right. All you got to do is be healthy, bro. Have good muscle mass. And life is good, bruh. Life will be good for you, bro. Life will be good for you, bro. Do you want to be free in this mofo? Do you want to be free? Do you want to be free? So I'm going to open up the phone lines right now and tell me, what are you doing right now to be free? If you have multiple passports, let me know, right? Share your story. Do you have property abroad? Are you planning to build a hotel abroad? Continuing, my freedom is a key thing right now out of everything. It's to be free. One day we'll all be free. Take it from me. One day we'll all be free. You want to be free? Right? Call in, chime in. Let me know your comments about the stream. I got some clips to react to as well today, but I want you all to call in and let's have a great call-in show. Let me get some water. I'm going to start reacting to some clips. One day we'll all be free. I want to be free, man. Any callers? Seconds to Friday. I'm just trying to make it back home by Monday. Oh, I swear to 5 seconds to Friday. I'm just trying to make it back home by Monday. Oh, I swear you know. Okay, phone lines will be open, but time for me to react. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Let's react. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me share my screen. We got 4 more seconds to Friday. I'm just trying to make it back home by Monday. Oh, I swear you know. Woke up a communist.
Run Club in Bali.
So, I have a clip here in regards to a run club in Bali apparently excluding Indonesian people. This is not how to be. This is not how to be an expat in these countries. Okay, let's check it out. So I have a clip here in regards to a huge controversy happening in Indonesia, where apparently Indonesian people are being excluded from being in a Bali run club. Let's check it out.
This viral run club in Bali has gone from social media sensation to the center of a national scandal because Indonesian authorities say Bali locals were being excluded, and now 2 Dutch organizers are banned from returning to Indonesia by its Director General for Immigration.
Thing is, why would you do that? Again, like a lot of people, right? You know, like when you go to a foreign country, you have to respect the people. okay? And you can't be excluding the local people from these kind of activities or opportunities or whatever that's going on there locally in that country. You're in their country, bro. And I feel like a lot of expats get too big for their boots or have an inflated ego. Oh, I'm better than the locals. I'm better, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do what we want to do over here. This ain't a goddamn West, bro, where, there's no morals, people are cutthroat, people are douchebags. You must respect the foreign country you touch down on, and you can't be excluding them from these kind of activities, whether it's business, whether it's leisure, whether it's social things happening, right? I'm so sick of seeing Westerners get too arrogant and do things like that. You're in their country. You're in their country. Respect it. Respect their country and their laws and their people. Right? I'm sick of it, bro.
Entourage Bali built a huge following with its silent disco runs through Canggu, attracting hundreds of digital nomads and tourists. They shared videos on their social media, but then local Indonesians began posting screenshots like these. Are you from Bali? By the way, are you Indonesian? Yes, I am.
Let me read that. Are you from Bali? Yes, I am. Okay, that explains why you're not accepted, because it's an automatic system. We are a platform for digital nomads. Huh?
That explains why you're not accepted, because it's an automatic system and we're a platform for digital nomads. Then more people came forward, some claiming they were rejected after saying they were Indonesian, but foreign applicants appeared to be accepted.
Wow.
One comparison that went viral appears to show a German applicant immediately approved.
German, how old are you? 22. Thanks, your application has been approved. See you at.
Well, an Indonesian,
how old are you? 23. Thank you for your interest in the Run Club. At this time, we're not able to offer access to the community. Are you kidding me? So you are excluding Indonesian people within their country from things like this. And then you wonder why anti-immigration is on the rise worldwide against Western people. Now you wonder why. These kind of things are not a good look. It's like people get a bit of clout. People in a new country, they think they're the boss. They're earning dollars, they're earning pounds, they're earning Australian dollars or whatever, right? Making this big money in a different currency, and they feel like they can just treat the local people like crap. You can't do that in any country you go to, bro. You can't do that. Wild.
Applicant received a message saying access couldn't be offered. Other locals said they were simply ghosted after revealing they were Indonesian.
Wow. What?
Now, Indonesia's immigration agency says it's investigating allegations the event violated immigration rules and discriminated against local residents.
That's why I rock with Asians, bro. That's why I rock with Asians, because this kind of thing right now is happening in Africa as well and the Caribbean, and nothing's happening, bro. Politicians are turning a blind eye. Africans ain't doing nothing about it. But Asians don't allow this kind of effort happening in their country. Try doing, and even though I don't rock with the Chinese like that, but try doing that in China, bro. Try doing that in Korea, bro. Right? They'll get you out of there, bro. They'll get you out of there, bro. And that's why I rock with how they look after their people, bro. Asians look after their people very well. Asians that stand up for their people very well, bro. Africans don't do that. Caribbean black people, they don't do that. Black people don't do that, bro. Right? Shout out to the Indonesian people for camping on this kind of nonsense, bro. Shout out to them, bro. Shout out to Indonesian people for calling out this kind of nonsense, man. And I know these Africans and the Caribbeans, they won't do nothing about that, bro. I'll keep it real with y'all.
The backlash exploded across Indonesian social media. Many argued foreigners were building exclusive communities on an island where locals themselves couldn't participate.
What? Bro, that's like some South African-ish, bro. Oh my days. In South Africa, right? There are some parts in South Africa where it's only for white people. Only whites can go there, bro. What the hell? Who do these people think they are? Who do these expats think they are, bro? Who do they think they are? Who do these expats think they are? On God, bro. On God, bro. Who do y'all think you are, bruv? You ain't no God. You ain't no God, bro. Like, you can't be doing that kind of nonsense, bruv. On guard, bro. Who do y'all think you are? That ain't your country. That ain't your country, bruv. That ain't your country. It's not your country. You can't be just doing that in a foreign land as a Westerner, bro. They let you in, bro. Wow.
The organizers apologized, saying an automated admission system had incorrectly rejected some Indonesian phone numbers, creating unintended bias. They announced they were suspending all events. Indonesia's immigration agency says the 2 Dutch organizers are under investigation for suspected immigration violations, and officials said the pair left the country before investigators could question them.
There you go, man. See, Asians, man, they don't play those kind of games, bro. They don't play those kind of games, bro. In their country, you want to exclude their people. They let you in for the sun, the beaches, the woman. Listen, they let you run for their chicks, bro. They're letting you smash their woman, bro. And you can't even let them into your run club, bro. They let you smash their chicks, bro. They let you run through their chicks, bro. And you can't even let them into a goddamn run club. Oh, they gonna get you out of there, bro. They gonna get you out of there, bro. This is wild, man. Damn.
Now been placed on the immigration blacklist, preventing them from re-entering Indonesia. The controversy comes as Bali pushes what's called quality tourism, cracking down on foreigners who authorities say are working, organizing businesses, or creating commercial content without the proper permits.
Flipping heck, bruv. Like, I'll be honest with you, man. Some of y'all foreigners, man, in these countries, man, you make me sick. You make me sick. Your arrogance, your pridefulness, your big chest. I'm a big dog, man. I'm a big man. I'm big man. Like, you motherfuckers, man, you make me sick, bruv. You make me sick, bruv. Because guess what? You're ruining it for everyone that's just a normal guy, man, that wants to, like, be involved in the community, etc. It's like, y'all make me sick, bruv. Stop it. It ain't your country, bro. Respect their laws, respect their people, man. You can't be going to the country, hey, it's only for foreigners, it's only for our people. Bro, you're in their country, mofo. You're in their country, mofo. The F you mean, bruv? The F you mean? Don't play with me, bruv. Absolute joke, man. And shout out to Indonesia for clamping down on that kind of nonsense, man. Shout out to them. Crazy. And for you passport bros, don't be doing that in a foreign country that you have been invited there. You've been allowed there, man. Remember, they let you smash their chicks, bro. They let you smash their woman, bro. They let you eat their food, bro. They let you in their country, bro. So don't play no games, brothers, man. Don't get too arrogant. Don't get too prideful. Be humble, right? Be humble. Be respectful and call it a day, man. Be humble and respectful, please. Please. Damn. That makes me hot, man. That makes me really angry, bro. What's he saying? How do I get on the show? Bro, the link is pinned on the live stream chat, London Guy African Dreaming. The link is pinned, bro. The link is literally pinned on the live stream chat. Do you see it? It should be, it's pinned. StreamYard.com. Click on the link, brother, and call in, bro. It's pinned. It's also in the live stream chat as well, but I just posted it again. There you go. Call in. Let me bring in Javier Gomez in the background, man. I'm about to crash out right now, bro. I feel like I'm gonna crash out, man. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, flip, man. I'm gonna start breaking some flipping tables right now, man. Y'all make me sick. Y'all make me sick, man. The way y'all moving online, man. The way y'all moving, in certain countries. I'm a big dog, big man,
this
big man.
Viral run club in Bali.
Big man. Let me bring in Javier, man. What's up, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, IP. How are you?
Hey, bro, I'm all right, brother. How you keeping, man? How's life, bruv?
Yeah, chilling, chilling. The usual.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it, bro.
Yeah,
So, brother, go on,
interesting
bro.
topic, man. Yeah.
Brother, what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Like, the more passports you can acquire, the better for you
Mm,
and your unborn kids. I remember I met an old man before who had three passports. An English brother, or English dude, or English man, because it was
mm.
probably like in his late 50s or something. Um, he had a British passport. He lived in New Zealand, so he had a New Zealand passport, and he also had an Australian passport. So there's actually no limit to the amount of passports you can have, you know? And yeah, so if you have the money, if you can afford it, you should definitely go for it. And
Facts.
one of the passports you didn't mention is the Botswana passport. So
Mm,
the Botswana has passed into law, um, or passed a bill into law, um, that requires you to spend or to invest 75,000, and that allows you to gain citizenship by bypassing residency. So ordinarily, you would have to have lived in Botswana for around 10 years before you're eligible for citizenship. But if you invest an amount of 75,000 and above, you will qualify for um, citizenship by investment. So for viewers who don't know where Botswana is, Botswana is a country that is, I believe, north of South Africa. Very peaceful country. I think it's the most democratic country in Africa. Ever since it got its independence, it has always transitioned democratically from one president to the other. So it's very peaceful. Um, quite, it's got the biggest diamond mines in the world. You know, and it's a country on the up. Like, yeah. So what does a Botswana passport offer you? It offers you easy access around the SADC countries. So the SADC countries are countries that are around South Africa or within the Southern African region. So you're talking about countries like South Africa, countries like Namibia, countries like, Mozambique, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and the rest. If you have a Botswana passport, it allows you to live in each of those countries for at least 90 days. And yeah, so I saw that on your on the screen you had Principe and Sao Tome, or Sao Tome and Principe. That is also an African country that is
mm,
off the coast of Central Africa. So, and I also saw that Australia was added as a country where you can get citizenship by birth. That's actually not true.
mm,
You can't get citizen by birth in Australia. You can get citizenship if one of your parents are Australian. So for example, I'm Australian. So
mm,
let's say if I was to marry a woman from a different country, let's say, from Brazil or from Ethiopia or from South Africa or from anywhere, that child can gain citizenship because I'm a citizen. So citizenship by birth does not exist in Australia. You can get citizenship if the child was born in Australia and I've lived in Australia for 10 years. That is, if none of the child's parents is Australian. He or she might qualify for citizenship if they have lived in Australia for 10 years consecutively. However, um, yeah, you can get citizenship by birth in Australia. So it's a very interesting topic. Um, and it's definitely something that, brothers should look into.
Wow, great breakdown there, bro. So, brother, how much passports do you have yourself, bro?
So I've got two,
Damn.
and I might be acquiring more passports in the future, but at the moment I've got two, and yeah, I'm definitely looking at other regions where I can obtain passports. Yeah.
So can I ask you, brother, like, what kind of benefit does having two passports have? Like, what kind of opportunity has it opened for you having a second passport apart from your, I'm assuming, Australian passport? What is the other passport giving you access to that you wouldn't get without having that passport, my bro?
Okay, so my other passport is Nigerian,
Mm.
and you might think of it like, oh, what kind of Nigerian passport give me? That's where you're wrong. One, it gives me easy access back to Nigeria because I was in Nigeria a couple of weeks ago, and you'll be surprised. Well, I was surprised the amount of people that were going to Nigeria. I was at Qatar, Doha, and I boarded the plane, and I saw so many nationalities, man, that weren't even black. And I'm like, what are these people going to do in Nigeria? You know, I saw Chinese, I saw Caucasians, I saw like, you know, um, Indian looking people, and there was a lot of them. So there's definitely something in Nigeria that they're going for. And another thing is that it gives you access to countries in the west of Africa. So countries like Togo, like Cote d'Ivoire, like Ghana. You'll be surprised if you want to get a visa to some of those countries. It would take you like you would have to go through a long process. Like even for someone that wants to go to Nigeria, like say you've got a British passport, let's say you've got a Australian passport. If you want to go to Nigeria for whatever reason, trust me, it's not as easy as you might think it is. So for me, being the fact that Nigeria is part of ECOWAS, that is the economic sub-regional economic group of West African countries. Having a Nigerian passport gives me access to about 15 countries in the sub-region of West Africa. You see? So
Mm.
if I want to go to, like, I remember when I went to Ghana a few years ago, it was easy, you know. Travel to Ghana, all I needed was a was a ticket. I got to Ghana, and they asked me, "Oh, what you come to do in Ghana?" I'm here on holiday. Cool, boom, 90 days. You see? So that's the
Wow.
p- that that's the
So, bro, just having a Nigerian passport gives you access, visa free to multiple African countries.
yes, mostly West African countries.
Mm.
So if you know, or probably you don't, but West Africa is the biggest sub-region in the whole of Africa.
Hmm.
So if you have any West African passport, it gives you access to about 14 countries, including whatever country that you're from, which is 15. So it gives you access to Nigeria, it gives you access to Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, the Gambia, yeah, 15 countries it gives you access to. So that's what having a Nigerian passport does to you. And if you notice, there's a lot of I think is Benin Republic. They've
Mm.
started a passport program where or citizenship program where if you can prove that you've got ancestry to any of the ethnic groups in Benin, you get a citizenship. So what that allows you is that for whoever wants to, let's say in the future you want to invest in Ghana, you want to invest in wherever in West Africa, if you have a West African passport, you have easy access to any of those countries. So maybe to an average American or whatever Canadian, that might not sound like a big deal, but trust me, If you're the type that wants to invest in Africa or has intentions of investing in Africa, or you even want to visit Africa, having a passport to any of those countries gives you access to a West African nation. Trust me, man, it's quite difficult to get visas to any of those countries. Yeah, maybe not
Hmm.
any, but to some of those countries. Yeah, yeah. But if you have a West African passport, easy access. Now, I also have an Australian passport that gives me access to the rest of the world. You know, gives me access to the rest of the world.
But so you have that Western power with the Australian passport. Then you
That's
have
it.
obviously like the African power with the Nigerian passport. But that's incredible, bro. Now, what about in terms
That's
of like business, investments, property? You see, you're looking so via your Nigerian passport. Have you delved in business in Nigeria, bro?
yes, 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 yeah. Definitely. I was born in Nigeria, so I
Mm,
definitely have business interests in Nigeria. However, what I'm looking at doing is actually having business interests in other African countries.
hmm,
So Rwanda is definitely one of those countries. Why? Because it's easy to invest in Rwanda. And Rwanda has one of the most um, friendliest business environment. Anyone can invest in Rwanda IP, even you. And all it takes is about 6 hours. You travel to Rwanda, you apply online in 6 hours, you get all your approval and whatnot. And that gives you a 2 year investment visa, which you can obviously renew every 2 years, or maybe you can renew in 2 years if your business is up and running. You get it?
mm.
So Rwanda, I don't think there's another country on the continent that offers that sort of. I don't think even in the world. you know, I don't think even in the world, man. The visa, the ability to get a business visa in Rwanda it's almost too good to be true. So I definitely have interest in maybe owning a hotel or guest house or something of that nature or Rwanda, because I've been there and I really like it, and I feel like it's a good place to cite such an investment because one, the business environment is so it's so friendly, so easy, and it's a country on the up. So yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Thanks for that breakdown, bro. Incredible. Incredible. Um, so stay on the line, brother. I want to react to a few more because I got a super chat over here. Shout out to Alexis Makula. What's up, bro? Been a minute, brother. How you doing? Hey, IP. Would it make sense to go ahead and invest into a passport by purchasing one? What's your thoughts about that, JV?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a YouTuber that I watch. It goes by the name. Well, what's his name again? Can't remember his name anyway. But he is Nigerian, right? And if you know, having a Nigerian passport is very difficult if you're going overseas. Like it's okay within West Africa, but if you want to travel to like the US, the UK is a bit easier, but places like the US, Canada, it's a bit more tougher to obtain a visa with a Nigerian passport. So what did he do? He decided to buy a passport. I think it was St. Kitts, and that passport have given him um, way more access than a Nigerian passport could ever. So if you've got the money, I think it's about 150,000 or thereabout. If you can afford it, then go for it. You know, go for it. Yeah.
Wow. Great breakdown there. I mean, before I react to the next clip, right? It's funny how like to buy a passport, it costs like between let's say 80K to let's say 200K to buy a passport from a different country, right? And let me know if you disagree with this, Jay, right? But I honestly feel like having $1 million, right, literally in cash money in liquid money, right, is I would say is literally halfway step to full freedom. It just seems like if you have $1 million, right, you know, it depends on how you want to use that to actually, let's say, drive your way to freedom. whether it's buying a property abroad for 200k or 100k, or whether it's buying a passport for 100k or 200k. Just having a million liquid, right, is literally it's a game changer. People say that $1 million isn't a lot of money anymore. I disagree with that. $1 million is a lot of money on how you use that money to help you get freedom. Whether it's to move to a different country abroad and live cheaper, whether it's to actually buy assets to help you generate more income or help with your freedom avenues. What is your thoughts there? Is $1 million like enough, like personally, but for like to help you get free, buy multiple passports, buy a property, etc., etc.?
$1 million is a lot of money. If you ever to do $1 million in liquid form, is that
Mm.
money? It's smoking. I don't know what they're smoking, bro. Bro, I don't know what they're smoking, man. Like $1 million is a lot of money, IP. You know, if I had $1 million right now, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So $1 million can get you properties anywhere in the world. And the thing is that people that have, you know, like first world passports should actually make use of them if you can. And what do I mean by that? If you have a Western passport and you earn Western currency like USD, the pounds, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, the euro, that can actually afford you to buy properties in second world countries, or countries on the up, developing countries. Another example is properties in a place like Mauritius. So between, I think, about 35,000 or 50,000 to around 150,000 or thereabouts, you can actually own property in Mauritius. And what that gives to you is a 10-year business. I think it's like a residency visa, which allows you to stay in that country for 10 years. You know, Eh, you can use that money, invest it. As a matter of fact, $1 million anywhere in the world, you're actually, you're good. However, you gain more freedom because the main thing you're looking for as a passport is freedom. If you look at even the guys in the US, a lot of the celebrities have money, you know, but do they actually have freedom? You see? So what living outside the West will give you is more freedom than when you have that sort of money in the West. $1 million in Australia, $1 million in the UK, $1 million in the US is a lot of money. However, do you have freedom? You know, if you want more freedom, you definitely want to leave outside the West. You know.
Mm, facts. And I definitely want to do a stream about this because me hearing that, $1 million isn't enough to retire, $1 million isn't enough for true freedom. I'm thinking, but why do you want to retire in America? If you know the cost of living in America is super high, why would you want to retire in America with $1 million? Why not retire in an African country, in a South American country, or in a flipping Asian country? And you're telling me $1 million isn't enough liquid? Like, I don't know what some of you dudes are on, but I feel like once you get to $1 million, right, your life will change. That's $1 million liquid, brothers. Like, don't play with me, man. And if you're American, right? If you're American, you literally have the best opportunities to make $1 million within a certain time frame. America offers the most opportunities in the world to get rich, business wise, tech wise, job wise. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't disregard America because it has a horrible dating scene, the women are trash, etc., etc. Use America's economic system to make you rich and prosperous and go abroad. That's the key right now. That's the key right now. Make money in America, go abroad. And it's the same for in Australia, right, Xavier, right?
Absolutely, man. But America, bro, America is like if you're working in tech, America is where you want to be, man. Like literally, if you have an American passport and you work in tech, it's yeah. Like I've got friends. who work in America that make around 350, 400K a year
Wow.
working in tech. Yeah. So you can definitely use that as a leverage to, like, don't get me wrong, there's tech jobs in Australia as well. We earn good, but not like America, bro. Not like America, you know? Not like America, man. Like if you're in tech in America, if you, let's say, did IP's Python course together with Teal's AWS course, you'll find job easily. Like if you're in tech in America, I wish I was in America IP. Like literally. So the American job market for tech jobs is second to none. So that's definitely, you know, an avenue to grow wealth. And you know, there are a lot of remote jobs there as well. You know, through Teal's class, I was able to meet a lot of people who, are obviously Americans who live in places like Thailand, who lives all across the world and work remotely. So tech is the only um, job that allows you the opportunity to do that. And America definitely is, has the biggest job market for tech. So definitely, man, America will give you um, that edge, that advantage. Yeah.
Facts, bro. Facts. Yeah, are you still in fields class?
No, 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 not anymore. But I think with Theo, you can never stop being a Theo student because there's also there's always something you can study. But for now, nah, nah. I'm actually um in the job market now, looking for my first IT role. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. You heard that, brothers, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. So let me if you're here with us, type on one in the live stream chat. If you're here with us, type on one in the live stream chat. Who's here? We've got 28 people watching YouTube so far. Type on one. Any questions, call in, etc. etc. Maybe you want to chime in yourself, write a comment in the live stream chat. But if you're here, type on one. So let me just share my screen over here. Let's react to um another clip over here. Give me a sec. Let's react to this one over here.
Japan almost.
So we have a sister here who's talking about her son with Japan and how Japan ruined her self-esteem. Okay, let's go.
I moved to Japan almost 10 months ago, and I'm back in the Bay Area visiting for a wedding for a week. And I didn't realize how low subconsciously my self esteem had gotten to in
Interesting. Let's check it out.
Japan until I got back to the Bay. Like in Japan, listen, I love Japan. It's a magical place. My life is great there, but oh, like I kind of forget what it's like to just feel beautiful and feel like I don't need to shrink myself or shrink my body. And I realize I'm like, oh my gosh, not that I'm necessarily the beauty standards, but like the
And shout out to Japan, right, for having strict beauty standards. Now, if you've been in Japan, you're going to see that hardly no fat people exist in Japan or overweight people. It's literally really rare to see a fat overweight person in Japan. It's super rare, super rare. Okay, it's almost as rare as finding a diamond in a bucket of water randomly in some park. Okay, they have insane beauty standards. They have insane health standards. Whereas in the Western America, they tell these chicks you can eat what you want, you can be fat, you're still beautiful. No, no, sweetheart, no, no, no. I'll keep it real with you. Most men don't like fat women, and being overweight is really an unattractive trait globally. Let's keep her buck. And Japan, they won't tell you to your face you're fat. They'll show you in images. They'll show you about the woman they put in media, the woman they put in the news telecast, the woman they put, in the movies, in the music. There ain't no fat woman, bro. Listen, there is no Lizzo equivalent in Japanese media. There is no Lizzo equivalent in Japanese media, bro. You won't find it, bro. She may be a comedian, hit one or two, but on the real media platforms, the movies, the music, right, telecasts, kind of news, ain't no Lizzo equivalents.
Beauty standards here in the Bay specifically, because it is so diverse. Like, everyone is gorgeous here. I just feel like you see all kinds of body types, and I could just fully exist here and just feel beautiful. And I realized, like, I was like, I'm like, wow, why do I feel so good here? Especially in the age of Ozempic and everyone looking like skeletons, or K-pop beauty standards where, uh, celebs are posting their how many kgs they weigh, and it's like nothing. I'm like, damn, I forgot that I love my body and I love the way that I look, and I really accept myself here and all of my different curves, and I don't need to shrink myself.
Or maybe Japan isn't for you. Like Japan is not going to change for your standards or Western standards. They're going to put like a bunch of fat chicks and promote fatism and promote being obese and promote eating McDonald's every day and drinking what you want, etc., etc. They're not going to promote that. They're not going to change their way of life and their beauty standards for Western beauty standards. And that's a problem in the West right now. It's just too open, too liberal, and that's why the West is going down the hill. There are no rules, morals, and structure anymore in the West. There are no rules, morals, and structures anymore in the West. It's do what you want to do. No, it's do what thou wilt. JV, you know that term, right? Do what thou wilt, right? Like, I'll be honest with you, brothers, right? Like, shout out to Japan for having a set of rules for health and how they want their women to be like skinny, thin, etc., etc. We love it that way.
So it was a really nice reminder, and I hope that I can like bring back this energy of just complete self acceptance and not start to feel the need to like shrink myself when I go back to Japan in a few days.
Thing is, right? If she doesn't lose weight in Japan, she ain't gonna get a dude. Like again, if you've been in Japan, Japanese dudes are not going for fat women, and the Western men in Japan are definitely not going for Western women, and that's why you see a lot of lonely women in Japan. A lot of lonely Western women in Japan, bro. Women from Australia are lonely. Women from the UK are lonely. Women from America are lonely, right? Because they won't humble themselves, right, to Japanese beauty standards. They won't lose weight. They won't clean up their diet, right? They want to keep that Western degeneracy going for a long time. Ain't no body positivity nonsense happening in America, bro. Sorry, happening in Japan, bro. Javier, do you want to chime in, Javier?
Yeah, no, absolutely, IP, absolutely, especially with countries like Japan, China, and South Korea. The beauty standards are pretty much the same. You know, if you're obese, the thing is that even in Europe it's the same. However, in America, you know, it's a feminist society. So if you look a certain way, you're overweight, you're obese, oh, you're fat, oh, it's okay, you're beautiful the way you are. There's no taking responsibility for how you look. In places like Japan, you can get away with that. Places like China, you can get away with that. In places like South Korea, you can get away with that. So you definitely have to be in shape. That's for sure.
Absolute facts. And you know what? Shout like there is no quality control, right? In like the the Western countries, right? There is no quality control in Western countries, and that's a problem. There is do what that wilt, do what you want to do. And do you feel that's a problem there, Javier, where like there's no like control as to okay, enough is enough. Like you're embarrassing yourself, you can't do that. Sit down first, bro.
I think the problem with Western countries is that it's feminism, and just this hyper liberal sentiment that is because now if you tell people, oh, you look a certain way, oh, you can't say that to me. blah blah blah. Before you know it, you can get a lawsuit. You get it? So people are
Mm,
really afraid to say how they really feel, and that in itself is cursing a lot of like a very, how do I say this? It has adverse effect to how people should take responsibility for how they look and what they should be doing. However, like you said, in places like Japan, even though they won't tell you, they will show you.
mm,
You'll see it. Like if you're overweight, you can't get like a proper boyfriend. You can't get a boyfriend in Japan if you're Japanese and you're overweight. Or if you're not even Japanese. You can get a boyfriend in places like South Korea and China because, being overweight just doesn't sell in those places. And as a matter of fact, it's not just in those places, it's like everywhere, you know? You need to look fit, you need to be in the gym, and you need to be lean to trim, you know? And if not just for how you look, but also for your health.
mm.
So in places like Japan and a lot of Eastern Asia, that's not something that that can that that they can let slide. Yeah.
Facts, bro. Absolute facts. Um, so appreciate that, Javier. So let's react to another clip over here, right? And brothers, feel free to call in because I want to react to like the new Black Panther, and I think like they fumbled that real bad, bro. And I'm about to crash out through a bit as to how they fumbled it so badly and why they didn't pick another guy who's definitely got the right image for the new Black Panther, but there may be some shady things going on, I'm angry. I'm angry. So let me show you who the new Black Panther is. And we're gonna react to it because I'm angry, man. Because Black Panther, that's our culture, bro. You know. Let me share my screen over here. Okay, hold on. I think it was this one. Yeah, it's this one. So, brothers, right? Brothers, we now have a new Black Panther. Okay, and he's called David. Okay, and I don't think he's the right Black Panther, but let's check it out. There he is.
This young man.
That's the new Black Panther. Wow. I wasn't expecting that, if I'm honest with you. This guy should not be the new Black Panther, if I'm honest with you, brothers, right? The new Black Panther should be Damson Idris. Now, if you don't know who Damson Idris is, I'm about to show you right now who he is, okay? Because this was a massive fumble by Disney. How do you not put Damson Idris as a new Black Panther? Let's check it out.
He was right there.
So Damson Idris, right, is a guy right there in the top half of the video that I'm sharing right now, right? He's supposed to be the new Black Panther. He has the look for it, the image for it. This was a massive fumble by Disney. Why would you not put Damson Idris as a new Black Panther?
There. He was right there. I don't know this new guy. I've never seen him act. I wish him all the best. But he was right there.
Facts.
How? How do you miss this opportunity?
Facts.
Bro, people are still sleeping on Damson Idris. This guy is an incredible actor. If you have not watched Snowfall, what a amazing series it is. Oh my. I'll probably just watch it now again. How do you miss this opportunity? I don't know. Seriously, the fans wanted it. I genuinely wish David Johnson the best. As a Damson Idris fan, I just wanted to see him, and I know so many other Marvel fans wanted to see him as Black Panther, as Black Panther's son.
He was supposed to be Black Panther. And you know what? Black Panther is the best image we have right now for black men. Let's keep her a buck, right? Black Panther is the best image we have for black men. And if Damson Idris, right, got that role, that would have done great things for black men. He's dark skinned, he's tall, etc., etc. That would have made ladies around the world, like, that would have helped put black men on the map again. We've seen what K-pop has done, right, for the Korean image. Korean men are now on top. Let's keep it a buck, right? They're on top in Japan. They're top in numerous European countries, numerous African countries. We needed something like that to balance that out, man. And they chose the wrong guy for it. How are you not going to put Damson Idris as Black Panther, bro? How? Like, don't play me. Like, I'm super angry right now. I'm about to bring in JV and Mike in a minute, right? Let me just show you, right, the reason why, the reason why he probably didn't get that role. Hold on, JV. Hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike Moore. Hold on, yeah? I'll show you why the reason why he probably didn't get it, right? Look at this.
Was never getting that role. It was never going to happen. We all know that Michael B. Jordan is Ryan Coogler's muse, as Julia Fox would say. I mean, the man has directed 5 movies in his lifetime with Michael B. Jordan in every single one of them. You're telling me he was about to do his boy dirty and hire the guy that was dating the woman he wanted to marry? Ain't no way. That was never going to happen. Now, look, I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, she's reaching. And I was going to let it go. I was. But then Kevin Feige opened his mouth. Kevin Feige runs all things Marvel movies. He revealed that David Johnson, who by the way is an amazing actor, we'll talk about him in a second. He revealed that David Johnson was cast for T'Challa's son for Black Panther 3 6 months ago. The quote says his deal's been done, that Ryan Coogler and David Johnson had a secret meeting 5 or 6 months ago.
Wow.
And that Ryan called Kevin right after and said, "This is him. I feel and see it in my soul." Now let's roll it back and do some math, okay? 6 months ago puts us around January. And in January, Damson Idris was very much still entertaining all of the rumors, all of the fan castings of him as T'Challa's son in Black Panther. What else happened around January? Well, in December, he was seen in Miami with Lori Harvey. And then in March, he was seen again with Lori Harvey in Paris. So that means this deal between Ryan Coogler and David Johnson happened all in that time period, back when Damson Idris was getting back together with Lori Harvey. And back when Michael B. Jordan was dating Lori Harvey, it was quoted that it was a shock that they were breaking up because Michael B. Jordan was ready to commit for the long haul.
Flipping heck, man. Like, oh, come on, man. Like, that's a fumble. How do you not have, right, Damson Idris as Black Panther? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not happy about that. I'm not. We need the best black man in Hollywood right now, which is Damson Idris, right, to represent black men. I'm gonna bring in Mike Moore. Mike, what's your thoughts on this, bro? You good, bro?
Yes, brother. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro. How are you?
I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. So I was having some issues before when I was on. So that's
No,
yeah.
no
So
worries, bro. Well, what's
cool,
your thoughts on the new Black Panther, bro? If you're aware about that, bro.
I'm not aware about that. I came in to talk about the passports, if that's still relevant. If that's
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hold on, bro. Keep that thought. Hold on. So, brothers, man, like, let me know what you thought, right? Personally, I believe that Damson Idris should be the new Black Panther. It appears that Woman Trouble got in the way of this. Obviously, Lori Harvey dated Michael B. Jordan, who's close to Ryan Coogler, who directs Black Panther, and she's dating Damson Idris, right? So that might be the key reason why he didn't get that role. Okay, but I don't think that's fair, right? Because that's Hollywood. Man, Hollywood is a degenerate industry where they're dating each other, etc., etc. And how you not gonna give that role to Damson Idris, bro? UK, bro. Tall. Yeah, he has that look. He can act very well. The culture isn't happy. Black men ain't happy. Black men are not happy that Damson Idris did not get that role. the role where, you know, where it's the best image for black men right now worldwide, Black Panther. Run it back and give Damson that role. Run it back and give Damson that role. Or we crashing out. Or we crashing out. Run it back. So what's up, Mike? You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm cool, bro. I'm cool. First and foremost, I listen to your streams quite often, you know. I'm an avid traveler. So before I go to a country, I listen to your streams and I get the 411, you know, I know down and it helps me. But
Appreciate
going
it, bro.
back, yeah, no, I appreciate it. You've had some classics, bro. You've had some classics, you know. But yeah, so going back to what you're saying about freedom and passports, I think it's really, really, especially for black folks, it's very intrinsic for us to get our passport game up. Yeah, I'm a man. I've got 2 passports at the moment. I'm gonna have my 3, my 3rd one quite soon. And it can actually be done just with a little bit of strategic planning. For example, I'm born in the UK. Bam, got my UK passport. Yeah, that accesses you to a lot of things. Yeah, obviously we used to be a part of the EU, we're no longer, but that's a hey ho. Yeah, I now have Jamaican heritage through my gran. Yeah, I got my Jamaican passport. Bam. Yeah, so many people will sleep on that Jamaican passport, but that Jamaican passport enables me to go to Jamaica, enables me to get government-backed incentives to buy land in Jamaica, to buy property in Jamaica at local rates, you know? And if I'm using currency arbitrage where I'm earning in pounds or dollars or Australian dollars, then hello, I can now compete. And I'm not just competing against my fellow Jamaicans, I'm competing against the Chinese, the Asians, the influx of all foreign nationals in the country who have got economic leverage. You know, you got to start thinking smart like that, you know. Also, with the UK passport, I'm going to spit some game here. A lot of brothers don't understand how powerful that is. That UK passport, if you're strategic, you can actually go to Ireland, Northern Ireland, no, not I think Ireland, not Northern Ireland. And if you're staying there, I believe for 5 years, you can even qualify for a for Irish passport, which gives you backdoor entry, no homo, to all of Europe. And that is very powerful, you know. Please, somebody, yeah, they need to, please, whoever's listening to this, do your research on it, because that's not something that I'm interested at the moment. But that is something that is there for British citizens. British citizens, I believe, can move to Ireland without any visa, without any like long thing, basically, and vice versa, you know. And if that is the case, I believe as a British citizen, if you've got a British passport, you can stay there for, I believe, 5 years consecutively. Yeah, which isn't that difficult to do if you're strategic. And then you can apply for citizenship through naturalization for Irish passport. Irish are still part of the EU Union. Hello, do you know what I mean? So you're in the game that way. And once you're in the game that way, that means freedom of movement throughout all of Europe, incentives in terms of buying, incentives in terms of grants, incentives in terms of businesses, if that's what you're into, you know, things like that. With the Jamaican passport, I get something called, I believe it's CARICON or something like that, where I can travel visa free for, I believe, up to 90, if not even longer, throughout the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, all these different countries without too much stress. Okay, so it's really like, I know brothers who just sleep on that. Their mum could be Brazilian, their dad could be from Ghana, and they're born in the UK, and they just don't even have a UK passport. And this is going to be a real like factor of wealth building in the future, especially with AI and things like that coming on board quite soon, you know. So it's really imperative we get that. Also wanted to, I don't just want to talk off your ear, brother, so stop me when
No,
you're ready, yeah. But
it's free
also
speaking.
Also want to give a shout out to the brother already that was on there beforehand. I've forgotten his name because he's giving me some jewels about South Africa when I went to South Africa as well. I listened to his comments about it. At the moment, I'm currently in Australia as well.
Oh,
Yeah, bro. We get around, bro. We're about this life, you know. Currently in Australia, and believe it or not, being a British citizen in Australia opens up some doors as well. For example, you get reciprocal healthcare agreements, you know, things like that. Just things I wouldn't even like fathom. But if you need it and you're a British citizen, it just shows the power of a passport. Not just being a British citizen, but I'm trying to say that take whatever advantages you have throughout your heritage, throughout your birth, throughout how long you stayed in a country, you know, whether you can get citizenship through descent, whether you can get citizenship through even a certain job prospects. Canada's like that as well. Australia's like that as well, depending on what visa you're in. The brother was saying that you can't get citizenship through being born in Australia. That is correct. But if you've landed on a good visa and you're strategic, I know people that got citizenship in Australia within 5 years. Within 5 years, man, the Australian citizens, you know, but they were really strategic. But what I'm trying to say is that this passport game is gonna be critical and crucial in the future, you know.
brother.
Yeah.
So, how's life in Australia? Do you live there? Or are you there on holiday?
No, I live here, man. I live here.
Okay, so you left the UK for Australia.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what made you leave the UK for Australia, bro? Was it a
Just
job, or was it you got tired of the UK?
just better opportunities, better like prospects. I got tired of the UK as well. We know what's happening with the UK at the moment. It's going a little bit downhill. Don't get me wrong. Australia's the same in certain ways, but I believe Australia's a few years behind the UK as such, you know. There's a better work-life balance in Australia, but culturally isn't as strong as the UK in terms of the diversity and things like that. But I'm a man who's always traveling as well, to tell you the truth. I want to live within 3 countries. One of the countries being Australia, then maybe South Africa, and then somewhere else, and then just try to gather resources and try to put my family on in that way, you know, to tell you the truth, you know. Also, you know, when us brothers travel, like doing this passport bro thing and travel, I'd see a lot of that type of energy. It's very important that we don't get like gassed in the sauce as well. You know, like to move to Thailand is going to be brilliant, right? You're going to have a lovely life in Thailand. But what resources can you obtain? Can you extract? Can you build up from Thailand? Because there's a lot of countries that are very smart in terms of saying no foreign ownership, no foreign ownership of land, no foreign ownership of, or you can only buy a condominium. You can't really build a property empire. You can't do arbitrage with your currency there as in certain other countries. So we got to really think strategically in terms of countries that we aim for, to tell you the truth.
So, but let me ask this, right? So, did you leave the UK for Australia for a tech job? Are you on a working holiday visa, brother? Were you responsible for an Australian job? What kind of break it down for us, bro?
Yeah, it's don't really want to say all my business online, you know what I'm saying, bro. But
I feel you, bro.
it's kind of those type of, not of sponsorship, but kind of those type of vibes. But I'm kind of, as I said, I was kind of lucky, and obviously I also own my own business as well. So like, yeah, I'm kind of cool in that way. And it's not just me; it's my wife as well that's here as well. So as a family, we're kind of cool. But yeah, that's what I would like to just like divulge. But to tell you the truth, there's no place that is 10-10. Yeah, even if you're in England, there's going to be challenges. Australia, there's going to be challenges. Nigeria, challenges. South Africa, challenges. You know what I mean? There's no place which is 10-10, but you just have to find a place which is good for you, which you can build, and you can say, okay, you know what? I've been here 10 years, and you know what? I've built up 2 businesses, or I've got 4 houses, you know, paid off in 10 years, or even 2 houses, 1 house paid off in 10 years, you know, because as they say expat, but even if you say immigrant, if you say migrant, you're coming to a place intentionally, and that intention gives hunger as well. You're not here to sleep, you know. I swear that, not here to sleep. So you're here to think about how you can build to the next level. But I just want to say that, brothers, when you choose a country, look at, if you're single, look at the divorce laws in that country. That's a joke. Come on, man. Look at the divorce laws in that country if you're single. Why? Because if you build yourself up and God forbid something bad happens, you need to be aware of the divorce laws. And if it's 50-50, 70-30, whatever, 80-20, that's one. The number two thing is, look at, can I build assets in the country? Not just like having a good time, because we all know people that have been to, let's say a country like, I don't know Vietnam, but let's say Vietnam, Thailand, you can have a whale of a time, but can you build up assets in that country? And how easy is it to build up assets? How easy, do they allow foreign ownership? These are the serious questions you have to ask for, man. You know, because if they don't, you don't just want to be like building something in sand, and then, you know, you have to put in your girl's name, issue happens, the girl takes half or more than half. She takes everything because you're not a citizen there, you know, and you'll never be a real citizen there, you know. So these are the things, man. But yeah.
Damn. So, would you say, are you enjoying life? Is life better in Australia than in the UK, bro?
Me?
Yeah, no. It's basically, no. Is life better in Australia than in the UK, Mike?
I would say certain ways. Certain ways, yes, it is. Certain ways, like the houses are bigger, less bills, easier, I think, to make money. If you're working for somebody, you get paid better. But the food isn't as good as Australia, as UK. The vibes isn't as good as UK. Like friends, you know, people find it challenging to make friends socially. They're still behind on multiculturalism, especially if you're black, like from the West. Remember, Australia's on a different hemisphere, so everything's completely different. It's inverted, you know, in a way. You know, they don't have any Jamaican, well, they do, but they don't really have a Jamaican culture down here, you know, Jamaican yard shop, or even Ghanaian or Sierra Leonean, or I don't know, Gambian. There's a few spots, but do you see what I'm trying to say? There's certain things that you take for granted. The other great thing about the UK as well is the location of the UK. Oh my gosh. Hey, when I moved to Australia, I realized how certain things in the UK are great, you know, because the location of the UK is, for me to get to America, it's what, 8-9 hours. For me to get to Lagos, again, 8-9, Gambia, same thing. Even South Africa, it's not a mad thing. Yeah? Try to go to South Africa from Australia. It's a madness. You have to go to Qatar. That's 13 hours. Then from Qatar, you have to go back down, you know, to Cape Town or wherever, Johannesburg. Try to go to New York from Australia. Try to go to Colombia from Australia. Do you see what I mean? So the geographical location of England, is blessed, and things aren't that crazy in terms of traveling back to your country, or going to the U. You could go to the US from England on $5. $5 can get you to the US. You know, like, so. Yeah, man. It's as I said, there's nowhere perfect, but there's good things and there's bad things, and you just have to make sure that you find the good strategic place for you. But make sure you can build with assets as well, man. You know, that's the strange thing that I would like to tell people. The real thing, you get me?
Wow, incredible, incredible, bro, incredible. Xavier, do you want to chime in? You're also in Australia, Xavier. You have a question for Mike? I'm assuming.
Yeah, nah, Mike said it as it is, man. Nah, he said it as it is, man. Australia is definitely. There's a lot of people from the UK that live here in Australia. I haven't met a lot of black people from the UK, but I've seen a lot of Caucasian, like
Mm,
English people, Irish people, people from Welsh people. There are a lot of people from Ireland that are here in Australia, and a lot of them don't never want to go back.
there we
They
go.
never they never want to go back. They prefer Australia. I remember there was a where I used to work. There's this girl, very pretty though, English girl, and there was a time I was in the office and I asked her, "Oh, so I was talking to her about England and because obviously she has an English accent and I said to her, "You sound so English." She's like, "Yeah, of course she sounds English because she's from England." And I asked her where she was in England, and she said she was from a little town, da 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 da. And I asked her, "Oh, so do you have plans of going back to England?" And she said, "Never." She said, "Never." So a lot of the young, especially young people nowadays, I see a lot of young people who come from the UK as well. They come here. There's a couple in this city as well in Melbourne,
I'm in
and
Melbourne as well, bro.
bro, we should link up, man, bro.
100% real recognize real, bro. 100%.
We
You
should
put me
link
on
up
South
definitely.
Africa, bro. That's what I'm saying. 100%. I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, really? Ah, nice, 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 nice. Yeah, and yeah, man, like you said it as it is, man. Like Australia is so far that trying to get anywhere from Australia is just a
It's a mad,
madness.
it's a
Like if
madness.
you even if you're trying to go to Asia, it's far. You
True.
want to go to China, it's far. You want to go to Japan, everywhere is just far from here, man. You know, because I used to live in Perth, so from
Mm,
Perth is a bit closer because Bali is like about 3 hours away, right?
mm,
South Africa is actually 10-hour flight from Perth. So if you're flying South African Air,
mm.
it will take you about 9-10 hours to get to Johannesburg.
Okay. Oh,
So yeah, yeah. So that's one of the advantages of living in Western Australia, Perth, because it's closer to the rest of the world. However, if you're living in the eastern state like we're living,
it's a
places
joke.
like your Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, this is like the cultural center of Australia. All the big banks, all the big companies, tech
Yep,
companies,
yep, yep,
everything
yep, 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 yep.
as are situated in this part of town. So it is nice if you're doing like for what I'm trying to get into, or if you're working in tech, IT, yada yada yada, this is where you need to be. But the only problem is that it's so far from everywhere else.
But you know the two things I'd like to say on that, brother, is the first thing is you see when you see all these like whites and even Asians now, there's a lot of Asians here, but that not really
Yeah,
from UK, but obviously from India and that. But their experience of Australia is completely different to your
it
experience.
is.
Yeah.
It is. You know
Black man
why?
experience of Australia, hey, is completely
It's
different. In
it's
brother.
different, man. You know why?
Definitely.
Because they have a large community
Yes. And
in
you
this
got to,
country.
there we go. You got to know how to hustle in this country. But
Yeah,
then
they've
again,
got
sorry, brother, I'll cut you off.
okay, yeah, yeah. So they've got like you're right, like the Vietnamese, the Chinese, the
Yeah.
Indians. They've got a large there's a suburb not too far from where I stay, where it's not that close anyway. I don't know if you know Tanent.
No,
Tanent
I don't know it. I
Rocks.
don't.
Yeah, so that's situated in the western um, suburbs in Melbourne, right? There's a large Indian community. Like the Indians run that whole place. They sell land. They're like the developers. They're like the real estate. They own that part of Melbourne. Why? Because there's a large number of them, and they work as a community. Black people don't work in community. Like, well, I don't know. Black people are just like in this country. I feel like we're like on the very down on the spectrum, like on the very bottom. Because if you look at all these other groups, they work together. Even the people, even the islanders, the guys from your Tonga, from places like New Zealand, your Maoris, your Samoans, they have a large group as well, but they all work together. The Indians, the Vietnamese, they all work together. But with black people, I don't know, maybe because we're all scattered. This guy is Nigerian, this guy is from maybe Zimbabwe. I don't know, but maybe because of the numbers as well. But black people is just different, man. These other groups, trust me, man,
Yeah,
they
bro,
are doing well in this
doing
country.
very,
They
doing very well.
very
I was
well.
gonna say, how is the best way I can, like, obviously don't give me your number online, but how can I get in contact with you, bro? What's the best way we can do that? If that's cool with IP, by the way.
Okay,
There's a private chat if you wanna keep some things private here. So if you want to put your details in the private chat, I'll put
Oh,
a message there. Yeah,
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
there's a private chat. Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
cool.
So no one sees it apart from you two.
okay,
So
yeah,
if,
yeah,
so you type your details in there. No one will see. Only you two will see it.
yeah, yeah. But the other thing about Australia, I know this is Australia chat, but the other thing is, when because it's so far, um, that breeds opportunity as well. You know. So,
It
for example,
does.
yeah, there's even like because their culture is very inclusive, uh, and they like to take from other. They're not. They can be a little bit racist, but they're not really that racist. I don't think anyway. But like culture from UK, they love that. Culture from America, they love that. African culture, you can carve out a niche for yourself here because there's literally no competition. I know Xavier, do you know a place called Footscray?
That's literally where I live, bro. That's like 5 minutes from me.
Okay, okay, okay. So you know that brother, there's a brother there that owns an African
Yeah, that's
shop.
that's my mate. That's my mate.
Swear down, yeah, yeah,
Say
yeah. I
less.
know him.
Say less.
Say less, say less. But you see, he's from UK as well, man.
Yeah. I'll mention his name. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
UK as well.
Obviously,
Yeah.
killing the game. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of opportunity here if you're hungry and you're ready to put in the hours and put in the work in, man. So yeah, man, that's one thing. But again, there's negatives to it, bro. There's negatives to it.
I think Australia is a better place if you come here with your partner. You know, I feel like if
Mm.
you're coming with a partner, you're
Yeah.
settled. You both can
Don't
grind.
don't try and find the girl here, man. It's a joke.
Don't try and find a yeah, nah.
It's about
You
just
see,
making money, bro, to be honest.
yeah. So yeah, that's what Australia's about, man. If you can, it's best when you come in with your partner, maybe from the UK, from Nigeria, from wherever, you know, and you guys are like on the same page. You guys can grind together. You guys can grind together. But if you come here like I did, like I was talking to one of my mates today, and what was he complaining about? It's Mrs. You
Okay.
know, that was what he was complaining about, and they met. Yeah, they met in this country. And what was he complaining about? He was saying that she's lazy. She doesn't want to work. All the bills, all the responsibility on him, and he complains to me all the time.
Damn. But is she a white Australian?
No, she's not. I won't name my ethnicity, but she's one of those people that have been here, when they were a kid,
Okay, okay. But
and there's
Go on,
and
go
there's
on.
a lot of
sorry, brother.
Go on,
yeah,
Jay.
Sorry.
Hmm.
and there's a lot of them like that are spoilt by the system. You know,
100%.
just
100%.
spoiled by that old welfareism that Australia. There was a
The guy's dropping jewels. He's just,
yeah.
that's the thing. IP, yeah, it's crazy, yeah. When you take yourself out of an environment and then you put yourself in another environment, you can now start to differentiate, see the pluses and the benefits and the negatives, and certain things about your home environment, the UK, compared to out here. I think you're in IT, obviously IP. Yeah, if you came out here, you'll be killing it because there's so many IT roles. Yeah, but what really kills it as well is that out here they don't tax as much as the UK, and they pay better. Because the UK, they're really giving like there's council tax, TV license, insurance, road tax, blah blah blah. By the let alone if you get into debt or wherever, by the time you end up, people have nothing left in the UK, and the inflation of your pound is really, really suffering due to inflation. Yeah. Then the pay scales are really depressed in the UK, and that is something. If it wasn't for the strength of the pound, then I don't know where the UK would be. But it's really apparent when you come here and you see how certain people are getting paid, and then the actual amount that they have left at the end of the month. Now, what they tend to do, if they drink it, if they want to go to the beach, if they're not looking for a secondary, third source of income, or setting up a business, or looking at multiple income streams, that's their own business, yeah? But the opportunity, I would definitely say, is here to better yourself. And I can see that in the Indian community, that when they come here with a plan, regardless. They even come here with, let's say they come with a kid and the husband, wife, kid. They even bring the mum over so she can just look after the kid. And both of them can work, with a strategic plan, to tell you the truth.
Wow. So you're saying, like, would you say that as a black man, Melbourne was the best? As a black British man, as a black American man, you want to be in Melbourne? Is that a fair statement, Mike and Javier? You want to leave the UK, go Melbourne? Is that what you're saying?
I'll say Javier, to answer that, he's been here longer than me, man.
Yeah, I would say Melbourne is definitely the most cultural, um how do I say this, diverse place you could be in Australia, you know? And yeah, so I would say Melbourne, I feel like Melbourne is a mini UK or mini London. A lot of people say that. So I think it's the only city in Australia that resembles what a multicultural city should look like. Because I've been here for quite a while, and I would say Melbourne is definitely the best city to be if you're definitely coming from a different country culturally. However, you know, cities here in Australia are quite nice. Sydney, very expensive, not my cup of tea. I've never lived there. I never want to. Brisbane, a bit slower compared to Melbourne, but great city as well. Um, you know, Perth, closer to the rest of the world, but Melbourne, it just gives you that extra, there's something extra about Melbourne. It's like I said, it's the cultural epicenter of the country. So yeah, Melbourne is definitely where you want to be. And
Okay.
all the biggest events happens in Melbourne.
Yeah, man.
The Australian Open happens in Melbourne. The Australian Cup, which is like a horse racing event, happens in Melbourne. So Melbourne definitely is the cultural capital, if I can use that word, cultural capital of Australia. Yeah.
Wow. So go on, Mike.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
saying, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
I
Yeah.
was
I hear
saying
you.
that,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, I was saying that regardless, bro, Melbourne for sure. You can see but Melbourne's expensive as well. Melbourne's expensive compared to the suburbs. Australia's got a real problem with housing at the moment. Housing, that's a real issue. But it's an issue in their eyes, but in somebody from the UK eye, it's not too
Actually,
much.
Melbourne is quite cheaper than a lot of the other cities, in terms of housing.
There we
Because
go.
I used to live in Perth, and right now housing in Perth is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I was in Adelaide, late last year in December. Housing in Adelaide. So Adelaide is a smaller city, South Australia. Housing there, it's also on the very high side. Same with Sydney. I think maybe Brisbane is the only city that is about, but actually compared to other cities in Australia, Melbourne is actually quite, it's decent here. Trust me. Like if you live in
Yeah,
if you live in the city, you definitely pay like way like, but if you live in the suburbs, if you live in the suburbs, it's a bit more, reasonable. Yeah, with the house pricing and all. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, bro. But for some, how can I say, for some people here, they're really struggling in regards to their housing. But compared to the UK, it's a drop in, like, in the pond. It's not. It is expensive, but you can see that housing um, is a real engine here on how to, like, create wealth as well. If you buy a house, you rent out the rooms, you live in a room, you rent out the room, that type of story. Or you buy multiple family occupancy, you can start generating more than if you're just, I don't know, renting forever, or if you just, like, paying off your mortgage, something like that. So I was just gonna say that there this place, how I see it, is a place where if you come with a strategy to say 5, 10, even 15 years, I want to be living like this, it's still achievable here. In the UK, the way they tax you, hey, it's not really, it's achievable, but you're really going to be sweating. Out here, it's still achievable because people, like, expect a certain quality of life out here. That's one thing I would say. So they're not gonna put all their life or all their work, like, all their life into work. Like in the UK, you'll find somebody, he's finished work, he's doing Uber Eats, then he's gonna do security. People don't do that here. That's what I've seen anyway. People just go to work, get a good job, and then want to go home, spend time with their family. Uh, but if you've got that grind in you where you can do two jobs, you'll outperform a lot of people here very quickly. Do you think that's this? Is that the case? What you see, or not really, bro? Like,
No, 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 for sure, man. Especially if like, if you're like a migrant. I remember when I was a student. I would work Monday to Sunday, man. You know what I mean? You know, I would work Monday to Sunday. I would finish one job and jump on the. It's usually when I feel like people really have to grind. You have to pay fees. You have
yeah,
to send money home. You have to do all of this stuff. So I feel like you get that extra edge to want to go, um, you know, hard. But I also feel like it comes a time when you're a bit more settled. Then maybe you might take things a little bit on the yeah. So I also feel like it's a mental thing. Like it's all. But like the Indians, man, they don't stop, man. Some of them they
no,
grind
I
regardless.
tried to say, IP, you would laugh if you came here, yeah, and you see
you
some
know.
Indian, they're on the grind
Let me
regardless. They're
let me
on the
give you a
grind.
story. Let me give you a story. So there was one of my mates who wanted to throw a house party, right? So I told him that rather you buying, speaker for around $750 or whatever, why don't you just rent? I also told him that look, you can actually buy this speaker and rent it out, when other people want to throw parties. And I was like, okay, 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 okay. So he went online, he found someone where he could rent the speaker from. We went together. It was an Indian guy, like an Indian dude with his family. This guy comes out from this big house. He has like a was it I think it was like a G wagon Mercedes. I like he literally had like 3 4 cars in his company. He even had cars that he parked on the street, right? So you
Mm.
can see that this brother is doing quite well. It's got your Mercedes, it's got like other, it's got another SUV, it's got another car that is like a salon car or sedan that he parked on the street. And I could see like 4 cars. He walks out of the house from the garage, and this brother still brought a speaker that he was renting for like $70 a day.
Yeah,
You
that's
Damn.
see?
bad.
Mm.
That
That's
that's to show you how these Indians move.
they're moving serious. They're moving
Yeah.
serious. But I sent you my number in the private chat. If you
Okay,
can
let me
add
see.
up, that would be ideal, and then we
Oh
can.
yeah, 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 yeah. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool.
But yeah, no,
So,
thank you, IP.
mm.
As I said, I listened to your live streams before I went. You had one live stream about Uganda. I listened to that before I went to Uganda. You had a live stream about South Africa. I listened to that about South Africa. But I got all the tips, because that's how brothers need to be acting. The way how this platform is, it's about networking and like iron sharpening iron at the end of the day.
How did you find South Africa?
Bro, everything you said about South Africa is true.
Mm.
South Africa, it's a love. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful place, South Africa. Yeah, in terms of the actual country, it's really, really beautiful. But and you know what? Because I went there also looking at property as well. One can actually buy in South Africa as well, believe it or not. But you have to put 50% down. I think you even
Yeah,
said,
yeah. I
yeah,
said
yeah,
that as well. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's
I've got
actually
I've I've
God.
got a
Sorry.
homeboy. We just bought a property there. I think I said it. I said the same. I talked about it. For about a
Yeah.
million dollars. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually do that in South Africa, and those are the countries where if you can buy an asset and it's protected by the state and their regulations, then go at it. But there's certain countries that you can go and you can buy land, but then the land's been bought and sold to the next person and the next person, and by the time you build on it, somebody's coming to rip down your property or whatever, and that's not something sustainable. So that's why I say to brothers, like, look at countries where you can build up in terms of assets as well. Not just that you can have the best time, you can actually build up in terms of assets and in terms of leaving a legacy. If you've got kids or you plan to have kids, you've left something that they can just take on board and start driving. That's it.
Mm. So let me ask Mike, what are your top 10, sorry, let's say top 5 countries you really like that you've been to, bro?
Boy, top 5 countries. It's all how can I say? See, with this question, yeah, you have to look at yourself because I've answered this question so many times, but you have to look at yourself and your situation. So a brother may listen to me and say, "Oh yeah, this," but then I'm in like my late 30s, yeah, bam, yeah, so or mid 30s, yeah. So a brother could be in his 50s. It might not be the right country for you because that country might not have the best healthcare if you are not fit and this and this and this. So that's what I'll just put that caveat there. But for my own sake, the best countries that I can say would be I like black countries. That's first and foremost. So
Mm.
Uganda, I think that's a promising country. Very, very promising. Yeah, Uganda. I would say Kenya. Kenya is very promising as well. Brilliant tech scene. Very, very smart people. Very, very smart people. Terrible traffic, but brilliant tech scene and very smart people. And also, you can actually buy and it's protected by the state there. It's very you can get scammed, but it's not like some other countries. South Africa, I would say South Africa is one. Yeah. I know there's a lot of issues happening in South Africa at the moment, but don't let that fool you. There's still a lot of prosperity um, there. You know, I would also say I would say Australia. Australia is a good country. You know, if you set up correctly, you've got good healthcare, you've got good everything here. I would say Switzerland. That's a good European country. If you can get into Switzerland, you're laughing. Yeah. And yeah, so those are my main countries, I would say. You know, I still need to check out Ethiopia. I haven't been there. Um, Other countries like Sierra Leone, they're good for business, but in terms of protection of your asset, of what you've built, hello, you always have headache, you know. Same with Gambia as well. Gambia is a very chilled country in terms of lifestyle, but if you really want to build something quick and be industrious, it might not be the best country, you know. So yeah, that's it, bro. That's it.
So you're saying that South Africa, there's opportunities there, even though it's still dangerous. Like, are you sure you're able to leave your property there while being in Australia? Who looks after it for you? Who looks after your land for you? Like, knowing how dangerous South Africa is, bro.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'll say. There is challenges in South Africa, definitely, but you have to mitigate those challenges with proper procedure and due diligence. For example, I could go to Ghana and I could buy a plot of farmland in Ghana. I could put down, let's say, 15, 20 gracks in that, and I could leave it thinking I'm doing land banking. I come back 5 years and that land's been developed by somebody else or bought and sold by somebody else. Reason because due diligence, on my side, and then the actual structural in terms of record keeping of land in Ghana might not be as strong as in South Africa. South Africa is very hard to do that. It can happen, but it's less than that. But then physical attacks in South Africa, people say it is there, but it's how you move as well. You know, don't go to the rough areas. Don't move there at night. You have to be very strategic and like just know what you're doing. Very direct in like what you're doing. Okay, yeah, today I'm doing this, this, and this. I'm going to be here at this time. This, and it's a terrible way to live. However, the country is immensely beautiful, and there's still a lot of opportunities. And I also think, yeah, that if you're from the ends, if you're from London, you kind of know already how to move. Yeah. Don't let the media overhype what is happening in South Africa because they would love to get all of, especially a guy like me or a guy like you, IP, a diaspora with who can make money abroad with currency which is stronger than theirs. Yeah, you can compete against the bulls. You can compete against the white man very easily. You can even get loans in England and go to South Africa and compete. But they don't want a guy like me and you there, bro. You know, especially if it's in an emerging market like IT or tech or AI. Get out of here, man. So these the emphasis on making it seem like it's the worst country in the world is benefiting certain demographics, and if it's not benefiting us, you have to think who's it benefiting. But let's not lie to ourselves. Yes, South Africa can be risky, but you need to know how to move as well. That's what I would say. What do you think about that, bro? Do you think that's the case or not really? Because you've been in South Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, I have been to South Africa. South Africa is, I feel like your life is more important than anything else. That's the way I see South Africa now. Like, you are right. It's not as bad as people, as it seems in the media. However, you don't want to be somewhere and you're having to look around and, be very hyper alert, just so that something doesn't go left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
100%.
you because
But
that's how I felt when I was in Cape Town. Like, you couldn't move too much. Like, I just felt some type of way. Like, during the day it was good, but
at
at
yeah,
night, man, you don't want to be like outside and about at night.
yeah, you don't really want to be slacking, but certain things also you have to remember. there's like if you're in a certain top place like Sea Point or Camps Bay, it's different than if you're in the hood, you know. And
No,
then
absolutely. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's one thing
absolutely.
I would say. South Africa, it's a shame. Money makes security in South Africa. If you've got money, you can like put a little bit of distance between the madness and yourself. And then I also say this year is that I know that nothing is constant, you know. South Africa could be bad today, tomorrow it could be good, you know. Let's just have that in our mindset, you know, because South Africa could be a bad place today, which, you know, there's many places in the world that's been bad, even in London, New York back in the day, and then now it's gentrified. Now it's this. Now it's even Brixton back in the day used to be bricky. Now it's gentrified. Tottenham, same thing. You know what I mean, IP. So
Mm.
I'm just saying that we just have to don't completely rule out South Africa, but don't make sure if you look at South Africa, look at it with eyes wide open as well. You know,
I also think it depends on how you move in South Africa. So when you went there with your
100%.
wife. You went there with your wife, right?
No, I went there. One up still.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like if you go there with your partner, you probably will move a bit differently. Maybe you will be more touristy, like you go to like more touristy places. You probably won't
100,
go out at night that much. But if you
100,
go there alone, then you might probably
yeah,
want to be
100,
like in some spots and
100%.
like
How
anywhere outside the city is dodgy to me.
hundred
Like
percent
anywhere outside the city, man. Like if you're not within that old Camps
bubble.
Bay, Sea
Yeah.
Point, even the CBD is very dodgy as well, but it's still safe because I stayed at Long Street, in the CBD.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I stayed as well, man. It's
yeah,
not nice.
yeah, it's quite dodgy. But that's where you have all the clubs, all the pubs, like
Yeah. Yeah.
everything is
Nice
around
on
that.
there as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. But don't sleep on Uganda as well. You know, Uganda is a very nice place. IP man. I would.
Mm.
I would.
Speak
I
on
would.
that, bro.
I would
Speak on
say
Uganda. Mm.
Uganda, currency arbitrage 10. Yeah. What you get for your money, 10. Yeah. Uganda is crazy. Yeah. And then it's safe. The people are nice. The people are friendly. Like the people are very, like the mindset of the country isn't like an Aggie country. Even though there's been craziness there, people are kind of cool, you know. And you can see there's development. It's slept on Uganda. It's development. I'm not sure in regards of I think it's quite a long way to actually I think one can buy assets there in terms of land and property, but I think it's on a leasehold system if I'm correct of 99 years, which is a downer. But in terms of like setting up a business or yeah, you could do that. I know a few people out there that are doing really well. One guy is on
Mm.
actually. I don't want to mention his name, but he's a friend of mine. He's killing it out there, you know. And there's a big like diaspora community from England out there. Yeah, man, it's just a place that I would definitely tell you to go. IP, if you're a young guy, go experience it, and then you have a different like vision compared to England. You don't even need a lot of money, man. Like £300 could quite easily last you 2 weeks out there, man. Easily, you know, easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uganda. So like
Uganda.
you tell me that black men are thriving in Uganda. Ugandan black people and black people who are not Ugandan are thriving out there as well. That is up and coming, bro.
I think it's up and coming. I think obviously there's always going to be poverty. Yeah, there's
Mm.
always poverty and there's always issues. But I'm saying as a diaspora, yeah,
Mm.
who's been exposed to certain markets, certain ways of thinking, you have certain economic leverage. Uganda, Kenya definitely is a spot for us. And also, I don't know, have you done a live stream on Gambia? Gambia is a good starter place for a lot of brothers as well. Gambia.
No, I haven't done Gambia before, bro. Maybe we can do it, bro, in the future if you're up for it, bro. No,
I stayed in Gambia for 6 months at one time, man. So I know Gambia like the back of my hand, man. But to tell you the truth, yeah, Gambia is a good starter country if you wanna like touch down to Africa, you know. But yeah, man. I just think, to tell you the truth, I just think that within 5 years, a lot of UK people, a lot of people that are suffering around the world, they're gonna non-Africans are gonna go to Africa and start buying up land, start doing businesses in Africa because it's an emerging market and it's so cheap, and they're gonna
It's
start
a
thinking, yeah,
it's already happening, man. Like even
see what I'm saying?
when when I've also been to Uganda, and I could see that there's a lot of foreigners in Uganda. Like
And
I
not, bro.
saw yeah, I saw a lot of Arab people, Indians. I'm like, these people have businesses. They're doing their businesses. Everyone is fine. They're making money. I'm like, the Uganda that I had in my mind was Idi Amin's Uganda. You know,
Of of course, of course, bro.
Uganda is actually not bad. I was actually impressed because I
The
was in
nightlife is
Rwanda.
crazy,
The nightlife is it's amazing, bro. It's
crazy, bro,
amazing. The nightlife in
crazy,
Uganda
bro.
is crazy because I
Nightlife
was
is crazy.
I
That's what
was
I'm saying.
in
People slept on
yeah.
Uganda, man.
People were sleeping on Uganda, definitely. Because I was in Rwanda,
100.
and in Rwanda, people kept telling me to go to Uganda. That Uganda, the nightlife is crazy. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll try it. So I hopped on the bus. I hopped
Yeah,
on the bus. It was about 10 hour bus trip. Like 2 hours through immigration. Then the other 3 8 hours is the actual trip. And I got to Kampala, and I
yeah,
experienced it.
but
The nightlife is amazing. It's
crazy.
amazing.
And then you're on the
So
bikes and zipping on left, right, and center on the bikes. Yeah, man.
yeah, yeah. It's like crazy. It's chaotic, but it's nice as well. You
Nice
know.
as well. And
Yeah,
it's not as dangerous as South Africa. Or it's not really like that, man. They've got they're a bit calmer like that, you know. So yeah, definitely, bro.
yeah.
another place you check out is Rwanda as well, man. I think also with Rwanda, the property and land acquisition is way more streamlined, very
Way more
streamlined.
streamlined. Way
Yeah,
more streamlined.
yeah,
But the reason
S-
why I didn't mention Rwanda is because you just have to be on your best behavior in Rwanda. Put it that way. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Rwanda is a country you need to be on your best behavior. But
yeah.
if
They
you're
don't mess
a family
about. They
guy,
don't mess
yeah,
about. Yeah,
no mess about family guy, your best behavior, it's a good country. But if the countries that I've mentioned, they don't, it's not really that season like you need to be on your best behavior or you need to
mm,
be or whatever. But yeah, Rwanda is a good place for land acquisition, for buying as a foreigner, things like that. Really, one needs to say to themselves is, okay,
Mm.
I earned, let's say, pull out a number, £3,000 in the UK, for example. Yeah, bam. Yeah, I'm a business analyst. I earn £3,000 in the UK. Okay, I live with let's say you live with your parents. Yeah, if you're at that stage, you live with your parents, you pay them, and all your outgoings is 1,000. You've got 2,000 left. Really and truthfully, you need to be looking at that 2,000. Yeah, invest in UK, get a property. Once you get that, but really and truthfully, you need to be thinking, okay, where can that money do the most amount of leverage in the world? And also, where can I spend that money where people look like me and I can blend in? Don't need to go to India, and with all due respect to the Indians listening and all that, and thinking that, okay, just because you got money, it's going to be a walk in the park. No, you're going to be an outsider. You might as well go to a place where people look like you and you can blend in, you can assimilate with the culture, and you can try to create a leverage for yourself that, I don't know, 10 years, 5 years time, you can leave something for your children, or you can, you know what I mean, you've started a business, blah blah blah. So that's how I see it, man. But if you're just doing something where you're just enjoying, let's say you go to, I know plenty of brothers that have gone to Thailand 10 years in, They haven't built anything in Thailand because it's quite difficult. Unless you get married to a Thai lady, it's quite difficult to build in Thailand like that. That's what I'm hearing, you know? Maybe
Mm.
proves me wrong, but yeah, you know? So this is, you have to think strategically, bro. Think strategically.
Absolute facts, bro. Absolute facts. And that's why like I've been pushing like Africa and Southeast Asia like recently because I just feel like number one, like I want to be around darker skinned people. If I'm honest with you, Japan is great. I've been there. It's awesome. But I just feel like you need to have a plan. Like, and it also depends as to what type of woman you're into as well. Like, are you into black women? Are you into Asian women? If so, can you live in their country? Can you build in their country, etc., etc.? Now, I'm assuming, Mike, like you're married to a black woman. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is she a foreign black woman, bro, or is she a UK black woman?
UK, bro.
Oh wow, okay, interesting. Damn, okay, wow. But you know how I feel about UK black women on my channel, bro. That's why I'm a passport, bro. Um, how would you make that work, brother, in Australia, bro? Like, especially the UK black woman, like, but especially you being black in Melbourne. Like, I'm not saying Australia is perfect, but I'm assuming that women throw it at you, especially white women, because I know they're into brothers, right? So, yeah, how does that work, brother? You marrying a UK black woman living in Australia?
Well, I think she's very cultured anyway. She's from Africa, so she's very cultured anyway. So, where
Mm,
she's her family and things like that, and she was born. She was born abroad, but she lived in the UK and she got her UK citizenship from early, if that makes sense. So maybe that
mm,
makes not like she was actually just born in the UK or so she was born abroad, came over when she in her uh, teens and lived there for so long, and then obviously got her citizenship and blah blah blah. But to tell you the truth, I think that because we've come with a strategy and a goal that we know what we're planning to do, so that's how we've got an end goal. We've got a vision of how we want to be living. We've done quite a few things, we've done amazing things already, but that's why we're out here. Or we would have just been in England. It's not like we're struggling in England anyway, but it's just like there was a better opportunity here. So yeah, that's how it is. If you got a goal, then you can achieve it if you work together. As I said, there's many. If you see that there's some Indians that come with even less than what we've got, and they've made it out in Australia, bro, because they work as a team, and they utilize their community, and they don't get distracted as well. That's another thing. Don't get distracted on the source or the hype. Just go boom, 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 work at it. Before you know it, 5 years in, you might not even achieve your goal, but you might be 2/3 of the way there, living a lot better. You know?
mm.
Yeah, man.
Facts. Facts. But you mentioned how like you said in the UK if you're earning 3K a month, you should buy a property. But would you say like it's not even worth buying a property in the UK, right? Especially not knowing if you don't see yourself living there for a long time, or if you hate that country, or you feel like it's too hard to actually climb up the ladder in the UK, why not geo arbitrage into a cheaper country and buy a property there and try and figure out, okay, if I can, turn my job into a remote job in the UK and be living there, going back and forth, and get a wife in that foreign country, you're pretty much good, right? I don't feel like buying a property in the UK or in a Western country is worth it anymore, bro. Especially if you don't want to live there, right,
100%.
brothers? Mm,
100%. But you have to look at your story. Like, have you got a skill set that you can geo arbitrage? Have you got a skill set that you can work internationally? Or are you a plumber? For example, if you're a plumber, you might as well work in the UK. You know what I mean? Then working.
mm,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for real, bro. Because if you're a plumber in the UK compared to if you're a plumber, let's say in Uganda, for example, you could be the best plumber in Uganda. You're not getting the money you're getting in the UK or Australia as a plumber or electrician. Do you see what I mean? So you might as well work there, build up your empire there, for example, and then obviously utilize what you can utilize or systemize it so that you can leave it to somebody else and you can work. But there's certain like a mechanic in Africa is he's not getting paid like that, bro. But a mechanic in the West is getting paid crazy money. Do you see what I mean? So you have to look at your skill set, number one. And then number two, you have to think, okay, where am I now going to utilize that money, geo arbitrage that money, and where is it going to be safe? Don't, if we ever do what do you call it, a talk on Gambia, I could tell you some stories about Gambia, bro. I know people that spent over £100,000 in Gambia and lost it because they thought it was safe. They've spent that money with a British person in Gambia who looks legit to buy land, to build up a property, and because they didn't do their due diligence, they left the country. 2 years later, they come back, the money's gone, and that story happens day in, day out, West Africa, even the whole of Africa, day in, day out. So you need to choose a country where due diligence and rule of law and protection of your asset is inherent in the country. It's very hard for you to give somebody money in the UK to buy a property and you're doing it through a solicitor, and then 2 weeks later they scammed you. It's very difficult unless they're a genius, you know what I mean? Because everything above board. So if you're gonna geo arbitrage, you gotta go to countries where everything is above board. Don't go to a country where the system's a bit like difficult to understand, and it's this, and you need transparency in the system so you don't lose your money, unless you're a millionaire, you don't mind, but yeah, you know what I mean. So that is the key. First thing to do though is definitely go and look at the countries that you're looking at, and then there's an Asian brother I know. He actually lives, he's got this, I don't even want to talk his business, but I'll just say he has a country just for business. He has a country just for property. He has a country just for working. And then he has his own country he goes for just for lifestyle. Imagine that. Yeah.
But I mean, Mike, speak on that, because I know you don't want to talk about his business, right? But he's I'm assuming Indian, and I know he's Indian, right? But I mean, but we have to but for us black men, bro, I feel like like these non-black people, right? They don't share the intel with us, and how they do things, right? Bro. They don't. But but if anything you can get from them, bro, spread it out for us black men, bro. This is my challenge. It's only been for black men for the past 10 years, bro. Share it, bro. Like what country is he doing his property in? What country does he do business, bro? So we can learn from that, brother, and actually do it ourselves as well, bro. They don't share it with us, bro. They do it on purpose. They lock us out of this wealth opportunity, bro. But no more, bro. We gonna get this money and this wealth, bro. I mean that shit.
100%. But yeah, that's how he's moving. So he's got, obviously UK is one of his strategies, yeah. And then obviously his home country, I don't really want to say his home country, but it's an Asian country, East Indian country, where that's his where he relaxes. I think he's got a country in Africa. I think it's either Sierra Leone, I believe it's Sierra Leone or Liberia, where he goes for risky business but for high reward. And then he's got another country where it's just he goes for property and things like that. I think he's so UK, I think he does a bit of states as well, but he's all over. That's what I'm trying to say. He's all over. But for, let's say he's going to Thailand, or if he's in Bali, he's not really there to invest. He understands the rule of law there. He understands that, you know what, I can enjoy myself, but I can never really build up here. Structurally against me to build up here in terms of Thailand or Bali. Because Bali, you can buy in Bali, but you can't keep it. It's leasehold buying. Do you know? They're very smart leasehold buying in Bali. The same brother actually showed me, I've got to go in a minute, guys, yeah? But because I got to go gym. But the same brother actually showed me a strategy, because I was working with this brother. He showed me a strategy that I will never forget, yeah? We were sitting down and I asked him, because at this point, I work in IT. I was working in IT, yeah? And I used to drive to work I had like my Merc and I had another car. So I used to drive to work in like 2 cars, yeah, nice cars in England. He had like, let's say 2, 3 cars, yeah. And we used to, obviously, there's only so much parking space in the allocated parking space, but the fact that I was a black brother in the organization and I had like 2 nice cars, obviously, it created a little bit of heat. And he also asked me, "Oh, what do you do outside of work?" I said, "I do this, I do this." Yeah. Then I asked him, "Oh, are those all your 3 cars?" And he actually opened up to me. He said, "Yeah, they're my cars, but I live in a household." This is the jewel he showed me. I live in a household where it's me, my brother, his wife, my other brother, and my mom and my dad, and the kids. I said, "Okay, that's interesting." I said, "So how does the finance work?" He said, all those cars on lease. So one could be one lease in his mom's name, dad's name, brother's name. But everybody congregates to pay, let's say, 150, £100 a month towards each car. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they're all putting their money together. Then he also said that because everybody's living in a big house, nobody needs to pay rent to anybody. But every month they take half of their salary, yeah, half of their salary, and they put it together, yeah. Then the dad at the end of the month now allocates what that salary that they put together is going to, just for investment. Meaning that, can you hear me, bro? Or you gone?
Loud and clear, bro. I'm
Yeah,
dropping.
Okay.
You're dropping game. You're dropping
yeah, I
game.
can hear
Carry
you.
on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carry on,
bro.
bro. Drop
I
that
was
game.
shocked, bro. I was shocked. I couldn't even eat my sandwich after the guy told me. Huh? It was shocking, bro. He said at the end of every month, yeah, because there's 4 working adults, for example, yeah. Even if each of them put in 1,000, that's 4,000 a month, yeah. But some of them put in, let's say, 2, some put in 1.5, some put in 1.8, whatever it is, I don't know, yeah. But they all put their money at the end of every month. The dad, yeah, and maybe the older brother. Now they now look at, okay, boom, this person needs to buy a house, yeah. So they remember in UK it's 5% deposit. It's only going to take them 2 months to buy a house in, or 2-3 months to buy a house in, let's say Huddersfield, 140,000. Bam. Yeah, that's 45% deposit on 140,000. What's that? 7,000. Bam. Do you get the game? They do, or they do that 4 times. For example, I'm just putting that as an average. Yeah, if you do that 4 times, that's 4 houses bought in a year under each, between all of the adults in one household. Under 5%. Remember, they're not living in the houses. Each person now is going to rent out that house or rent it room by room. Before you know it, that family's built a property portfolio. If you do that for 3 years, do you get the game? Do you get the game? You might not.
Yeah.
You do that for 3 years, bam. That's why when I was, obviously it's just me and my missus, like we're grinders, but when I now see that this brother's got 3 cars, it's not that he's got 3 cars. Maybe the one car's in the mom's name, brother's name, dad's name, but everyone's collating their money at the end of the month. Even for food, everyone's collating. It's not going to cost more than 8 bills to feed everybody in that household. Do you know? Childcare, the mom does the childcare, or the grand does the childcare. What was really striking to me, though, what was really striking, and this is where I want brothers and sisters just to sit down and have a drink of tea on this one, yeah, is the utilization of credit, how they understood the credit system and how they utilized it. Meaning that everybody in that household, even if they just landed from Pakistan, yeah, everybody in that household will get a credit card. Yeah? From when they all get a credit card, on not under everybody's name, everyone has a simple their own credit card, and they're always pushing for higher limits. Nobody uses the credit card. The person that uses the credit card would be the dad. You get me?
Yeah.
Then the dad will use the elder, the head of the family. He would use the credit card. when the purchase is made, everybody will collect their money, boom, to pay it off, boom. Yeah. Then they'll utilize the other person's credit card. So that in a month or in a year, they'll go from credit card A under, let's say, Mr. The first person's name, then credit card B, then credit card C, then credit card D, and then revolve back to credit card A. That will actually increase everybody's credit file, increase everybody's like balances, increase everything in that household. So by the end of, let's say, 18 months, yeah, everybody's got access to a lump sum in terms of credit. If they go to the bank now, the brother wants 10 grand, the bank's going to give it to him. The other brother wants 15 grand, the bank's going to give it to him. The other brother wants 10 grand, the bank's going to give it to him. They don't want 10 grand to stunt. No, they want 10 grand to put the money together to now to go and buy an income producing asset. But they're smart enough to know that if they just go to the bank straight, can I have 65 grand, 80 grand? The bank's going to say no. But under 4 people, if they one says, can I have 25? The other one says 15. The other one says 10. The other one says the X amount, the left. The bank's more likely to say yes.
Mhm.
You see,
Wow.
they have the
They've
game
got
plan.
it all worked out, man.
Yo,
That's
brother. That's what I
that's
say.
great.
When that's what I respect them, but when I now see certain of that same demographic moving in Australia, I'm telling you, they're coming with a purpose to win, you know, and it's no joke. So when you come to Australia, things are, I even feel it. It's a lot easier than UK. UK is a little bit harder due to the taxes, competition, blah, 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 you know. So somebody in Australia, when they come to Australia, just 5, 10 years, 15 years, yeah, head down, focus, they can build something in Australia, man. Especially if they come with a plan, you know, definitely. But yeah,
Wow.
brothers, it's been lovely speaking to you. I don't mind doing that thing that like
Gambia
you know,
stream.
yeah,
Brother,
and but
hit me up on IG, bro. I put my IG on the private chat, brother. That'd be great if you can DM me on there.
and brother, is it Xavier? Please add me. It would be nice to
Yeah,
network.
I give you a call, man. I got your number. I'll call you. I don't call you now. I'll call you later.
Yeah, or just message me. It's the right number. You know, these Australian numbers are.
Oh, okay. Let me message you now.
Now know that it's the right number. It's a bit.
Wow. This is probably see, brothers, like before he goes, like it's all about having a strategy, man, and like building wealth and thinking about the next year for you, the next 5, the next 10 years for you. Like it's not only about women, it's about being free. And with freedom comes money, wealth, opportunity. These guys get it. They absolutely get it, man. And that's why, like, I feel like the future of freedom is getting out the West. The future of freedom is actually being a global citizen because there are emerging markets in Africa, in Southeast Asia, and Latin America that we as black men have to take advantage of. So for example, right, if you're in the UK, right, you have things going for you in terms of you have an ISA. ISAs are tax free, right? If it's tax free, why not pawn your money into assets that will grow over time, tax free? You cash out, you pay no taxes, bro. You take that money and then you invest in assets abroad, like same in America too, Roth IRAs. There probably is a similar scheme in Australia too. Like these are the kind of things that the elites are doing, bro. This is what they're doing, bruv. Like I'm sure Mike probably has ISA as well. He invested in ISAs too back in the UK. He probably has used that to help him do arbitrage as well. Like know what you can get from the system in the West. I know it's terrible living here. The women are horrible, but okay, figure out a plan to again get Western money in dollars, in pound, through ISIS, tax-free schemes, take it abroad, invest there, and start thinking like a global citizen, man. Incredible intel, man. Thank you, Mike.
Safe, bros. All right, I'm out. Yeah, bless, brother. Bless.
Yeah, Mike, did he get my text?
Yeah. I got it, bro. I got it.
No worries. No worries. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Mike. Bro, brothers, that should motivate. I got a couple of super chats here. Shout out to Mr. Green Lantern for the support. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Alexis McCullough for the support. I thought to sell my home in America for 300K and put that in a nice condominium in Cali, Colombia. I'm a truck driver that's been in the trade for about 24 years. Now, Javier, would you, if you were Alexis, right, would you, like, let's say, sell your home for 300K in America and buy a condo in Colombia and make it work from there? Break it down first,
Abs-
Javier.
Absolutely, IP. I have a friend who sold his house like a few years ago, and the reason was simple. He wanted to relocate. So he sold his house. The equity that he got from selling his house was about 150K. And to him, that was enough to exit the country. So, and that's the thing. If you have the opportunity of buying a house or owning a home in the West, you should go for it. However, if you're not planning to stay in the West, that might be a bit difficult. But if you already bought the property and you could lease it out, rent it, do whatever, and in the future, if you want, you can dispose that property, get the money, and use the whatever equity you have on that property to invest anywhere else you want to live. So it's definitely you know an asset.
Facts, especially like if you don't want to like live in America, right? So if you can get 300K for a property, right, that you own, and then buy a property for 150K in Cali, Colombia, you have 150K liquid still in your bank that you can actually use for other things as well. You know,
That's it.
And,
That's it. That's it.
mm,
And properties are way cheaper in countries outside of the West. So if you sell your property for about 350 and you want to move to Australia or you want to go to the UK, you probably use that money, all that money, or maybe if you don't use all of it, maybe you can put in a what do you call it, like a deposit or whatever. However, you will still need to pay off that mortgage for the number of years that you've requested for that mortgage for. However, you can use that whole money, or you can use part of that money to buy a property, let's say in Colombia, in Brazil, in South Africa, in Ghana, in Kenya, and still have a whole lot of that money to invest or do whatever else that you might need to use it for. So it's definitely a good idea. Yeah.
facts, and you're living in a country that you want to live in. You're happy. You have liquid money. You have a condo. You're done with America. Like you have to start thinking about what makes you happy now because like things are getting real feisty in the West, man. People ain't happy. People feel stuck. But if you have like something going on for you, right? If you have something going on for you, uh, you brothers, like you can actually, make something good for yourself. Abroad. Go on, bro.
IP $350,000. It's a lot of money, bro. Outside of the West, like even in the West, it's reasonable amount, but outside of the West, in South Africa and maybe even Thailand, in places like you know Kenya, Cali, Colombia, anywhere else outside of the West, it's a lot of money. Like $350,000 is equivalent of about, is it 350 million or about maybe even 500 million in Nigerian currency. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. You can buy property for, you can even buy four properties with that money, or even five, or even way more. You see? So that money
Mm.
can do for you way more outside of the West than it can do for you in the West. Way more. Like you'll be good for life if you spend that money wisely. That is, you'll be good for life. You know.
Facts, bro. Facts. I feel like we don't literally we don't understand the benefits like of the dollar and the pounds, man, that we're able to tap into as Western brothers. I know a lot of people have this opportunity, and we have to like use it to our advantage to give us freedom and set a way for us life in the next 5, 10 years. Because remember, time is going by. We're going to be in 2030 in 4 years. Games got to start being played and wealth got to start being built. Let's get it.
Absolutely. And like also like what Mike said, you can actually use credit from the West to finance projects outside of the West.
for example, what he was talking about the family, how the parents will make sure everybody had a credit card. What he was trying to do was he was trying to make sure that whoever comes from their home country builds up a credit. So how do you build up a credit? You build up a credit by acquiring a credit card. So what that means is that once you acquire a credit card and you're paying your repayment on time, your credit will build up over time, and then you can secure a loan. Because if you come into the country and you've got no credit, no one's going to give you money.
Mm.
But if you get like a small credit card, you use it, you don't even use it, he uses it on your behalf. But over time, you have a credit history, and your credit begins to build up, right? You can get money. You can get 50 grand. You can get 100 grand. You can get 200 grand, wherever. And you're able to use that money overseas, or, buy a property, buy a condo, put it in some investment, overseas. And let's say you work, even if you work in that country and you travel and you do those investments, you can always come back in, pay off that loan, or you're an IT guy, you work remote, you're earning in dollars, easy. You can pay up that loan, like quickly over time. Yeah. So you should always use credit from the West. Take it. Just make sure that you're able to pay it back and use that money elsewhere to acquire wealth. That's it.
Facts. Absolute facts.
That's
So I wanna go on, bro.
Yeah, like my homeboy that I told you that got a property in South Africa. How did he do it? He did it through obtaining a mortgage from the banks in Australia, because he had to pay $500,000, you know, as a down payment, you know. So I was able to raise that money through the banks. So I was able to use assets and the banking system from Australia to obtain a property outside of Australia. You see? That's how you do it.
Mm.
That's how you do it.
But how does he pay it back, bro? If he uses that money, okay, so they're giving him 500,000 what in dollars, Australian dollars to him to buy property in Australia, but he uses it to buy property in South Africa, but he didn't buy property in Australia, brother, and he's got to pay the money back. How does that
No,
work?
it's got property in Australia already. So it's got two properties now. It's got
Mm.
one in Australia, and it's got another one. And so I don't know what is I don't know if he's paid off the one in Australia, or is about paying it off. I think he's probably sold it. I'm not sure what he actually did. But I do know that he's got a property here, and how he was able to secure that mortgage for that property in Australia was through the banks in Australia. So now he's a South African resident of that property that he bought. You see? So
Mm.
he's obviously an Australian citizen, but he has also become a South African resident through the investment of the property that he bought in South Africa. And was able to, because he works in IT and he makes a lot of money. That that particular brother. Like, so he's able to pay it off long term. If it like it should that shouldn't be a problem. He works in IT, and it doesn't work like a full-time role. It's a contract role. So when you're a contractor, you actually even earn more, two
Mm.
or three times or even four times what an average full-time worker will earn.
Mm. So, but let me ask this, right? So, no, now speaking of me layman terms, right? So, the bank is giving him money to buy a property, right?
Yeah,
But he's used that property to buy it in South Africa, right? That means the money wasn't used to buy a property in Australia. Wouldn't
yeah.
they have some inquiries to, hey, where's the property? Are you not going? How are you going to pay back the money to our bank? Where's the property? Can you do that,
They
bro?
they did. They did. But the thing is that he's got so much good credit that a bank didn't mind obtaining that property, because you can do that.
Mm.
You can do that.
You approach the bank. He told me initially that they were, acting a bit funny, but that eventually they he was able to, because what this is the thing. The property that is bought in when you obtain a loan, a mortgage from the bank will buy the property on your behalf, right? They'll buy the property or they'll give you the money to buy the property. Let's say you put in 10% deposit or 20%, right? The rest of that money the bank will give to you. You secure the property and you pay back the bank. That's how it works, right? You could pay your repayment might be in 20 years, might be in 25 years. It could even be less. It could be in 10 years, right? So he's
Mm,
obtained the money so he's bought the property already. You get the bank has bought the property on his behalf. Now
mm,
he's paying back the bank. Do you get it? So the
yep.
mortgage is not for the property, it's to the bank. But the property is already been bought with the bank money. So $1 million was put into that property bought in South Africa. Now it's going to pay back the bank, whatever agreement that they have, whether it's 10 years, whether it's for 20 years, whatever it is, secured.
Wow.
Do you, s- do you,
Incredible.
s- do you see it? It's only when you're a non-resident, or like, okay, like you're a resident in South Africa, there whereby you can approach the banks in South Africa, obtain maybe a loan or mortgage, 10-20%. I don't know what it is there. But what I know is that if you live abroad, you would have to put a down payment of 50% and obtain a loan in order to pay for that. But obviously, they have to say that you're working. You show them, oh, I work. I'm from Australia, I'm from the UK, I'm American, I've got this job. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you can go through their own banking system and secure your property. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible, bro. This is great intel. So I got around like 6 more minutes left before I end the stream. Shout out to Javier for calling in. Shout out to Mike for calling in, for dropping games. Anyone else want to call in to drop game, or you have any questions, please feel free to do so. If you have any questions, please send in a super chat if you can't call in. But this has been a very insightful live stream. And I think my next stream will probably be, can $1 million is $1 million enough for freedom? And I love to see how brothers think about that. How would you spend $1 million? Is it enough in 2026? Do you arbitrage? Do you instead build it further in the west, etc., etc.? But yes, a lot of gems were broken today, man. Brothers, we have to start thinking big and start thinking beyond women and start building towards things that will help us be free. You know, and I think it's very important, like, again, to find a good woman as well that supports you but understands what needs to be done to build wealth. You know, so based on that kind of sentiment there, Javier, if you want a woman that understands that this kind of topics, right, like wealth building, etc., etc., do you go for older women, or do you go for women, who's younger? Let's say early 20s, right? Or do you go for women in the late 20s phase or mid 20s, bro? As you know, bro, like we are kind of RP, so like old women are not really our thing, but uh, it's hard, isn't it? Well, what's your thoughts, Javier? How are you going to deal with the woman part?
That's the tricky part. That's the tricky part because younger women tend to be broker. you know,
Mm,
younger women tend to be broker, and the more older a woman is, the more successful she might be. I think that's just life, anyways. You
mm,
know, but yeah, like we as pastor bros, we want them younger. We want them like mid 20s, perhaps late 20s. You don't want to go above that. You know, you want to keep it within that twenties mid to late 20s range. But what you can do is also make sure that one, she's educated. Two, she's working. And three, you can always shape her, in the direction that you want her to be. You get it? Like I've got a
mm,
friend who brought his wife from Nigeria. Like, you know, they both came from Nigeria and they've always been together, right? So they moved to Australia and they've been living in Australia for about 10, 11 years, but they've been able to work together and build wealth. Why? Because he's been able to shape her or mold her the way he wants her to be. You get it? And
Mm,
when you meet a younger woman, they're a bit more easier to shape, you know, or to mold than when she's older. When they're older, you know, they're already in their, you know, in their full form. You get it? But you want to make sure
mm,
you want to make sure she's smart. You want to make sure she's educated, and you want to make sure she's driven, and you want to make sure she's hardworking. You know, if she's got those qualities, then you know you'll be fine. Yeah.
mm. So what you're saying, you wouldn't go for 21, 23, 22?
Yeah. Why not? You can. Why not?
Hmm.
You know. But I reckon maybe mid to late 20s. Mid to late 20s.
Mm,
You know. Yeah. Maybe 24. She's out of school. Make sure she's out of school. Make sure she's working. You see it?
out of school, yeah, out of school and working, yeah.
Make sure
Mm,
she's out of school. Make sure she's working. You know, it doesn't matter what she does. She's educated and she's working. That's because the thing is that, you know, because women use us, right? So we also should be able to use women.
mm,
You get what I'm trying to mean? So
mm,
what is it that you want her to do for you? Okay, you want her to be your wife. You want her to raise your kids. You want to, you know, so it should, because the way women see relationship and the way they see marriage is from a transactional angle. We as men should also see marriages or relationship from a transactional level as well. It's not always, oh, I'm the man. Okay, you're the man. Yeah. You're the one taking care of the house, whatever. That's, you know, of all the bills. But what is it that she can do for you other than raising kids and being your wife? How can you use her? You know what I'm trying to say? So we should
mm,
always think of relationships from that angle and not just, oh, you know, um yeah, not the usual stuff. How can I use this woman? Okay, I'm going to use her for my kids. If that's the reason why you want to use her, go ahead. If you feel like she's hot, she's probably got, you know, physical attributes that you like. Maybe you want your kids to be tall. She's a tall woman. Maybe you want your kids to look in a certain way. She has this sort of looks. Then that's why you're with her. Then go for it.
mm.
You get it.
Hmm.
You should
Yeah.
always have something at the back of your mind why you want that particular person. What is it? Why do you want her? Do you want her because she's smart? Do you want her because she feels like she can, you know, take care of your investment? She's this and that. You know, if those are the things that you see in her, then that's okay. But men should always think about relationship from a transactional level, the same women think about it. Not necessarily that she's giving you money, but what is it that she can do for you? Or how can you use her? That's the actual word, use. How do you use her to benefit yourself?
Hmm.
So yeah,
I
that's the
like
way I
that,
see
bro.
it.
I like that. I really do. But you feel like, do you feel like, obviously, um, for men, right? Is it smart as a let's say late phase man, or even a guy early phase or whatever, to be going after like a woman who's 21, 22, but still at university? Or because obviously like she needs to work through a bit, 26, and you'd be like, let's say 36 or 37. You gonna, is that where you're gonna have your first child, or let's say 40, 38, which can be a bit late for a lot of people. Should we be thinking like that, brother? Or because probably like again, like time is flying, right? And
Mm.
like you gotta be very smart as to how you wanna see your next 5, 10 years. You wanna have a kid, blah blah blah. But body count matters as well, you know. It's unlikely a 25-year-old would be a virgin in any country, right? But but more than likely should be a virgin, like, let's say 2021, right? Especially with particular circumstances. So Do you trade her not being a virgin to give a 25-year-old who's working that can have a kid with you in the next year or two? Or do you wait, do you wait until she's out of university, she's a virgin, have a kid with her 4 years after? It's so hard, bro. Like, what's your thoughts, brother?
It depends, man. It depends on.
Go on, bro. Ah, man, we lost Xavier. Damn. Xavier, you there? Let me Black Cleaner. Black Cleaner, can I bring you on?
Hello.
Yeah, now you're back. Yes, brother. So
Yes.
you said it depends
So
on Come, bro.
yeah, sorry. Someone called me here. Well, I'm gonna stay another maybe 2 or 3 minutes and I'll be gone. So it all depends on I think it all depends on where you meet her. And why do I say that? What I notice is that women who are in countries outside the West are more predisposed to getting married early. So I'll tell you my experience. So I was in I was overseas, right? A few weeks ago. And I got back maybe in about 3 weeks. And the same week I was out, the same week I got back, I went out on the weekend, right? And I met this chick, good looking chick, tall, nice body. She was, yeah. So, and what happened is that we happened to be from the same background, she's Nigerian, I'm Nigerian, you know, it was good. But I think she was born in Nigeria, but she had lived abroad way longer than I have lived abroad because she started living abroad from when she was a baby. So she was pretty much, you know, a Western chick. Let me just put it that way. She was around 26. You know, now when we started talking, I noticed that, or maybe on our first date, I noticed that even at 26, to her, she felt like she was still very young. You know, she had been in school. She studied um I don't want to say what she studied, but something related to medicine, but not actual medicine, but like, yeah. And she's been in school, she's been studying, now she's working. And to her, she wants to travel the world. She wants to go to places. She wants to enjoy life. So to her, marriage is not probably something that she sees herself doing in the next 4 years. You see?
Yeah.
But for me, I ain't got that time. I need to get married in the next 6 to 12 months. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you can see that we're on the same timeline. So even though she's good looking, she's this, she's that, you would think at 26 she should be thinking of, getting married or finding someone that would lead to something, that would lead to her being married and having kids. But she's not ready.
Hmm. Hmm.
You get it?
I
She's
get
not
it.
ready. And she's not ready. Why? Because she lives in the West. You know?
Hmm.
And another thing I noticed about her was that she's a hardcore feminist. Hardcore feminist. You
You don't
see
want
it?
that, bro. Yeah.
So it wasn't gonna work.
Hmm.
And I think on the second date, I think she knew already. Like she said, "Ah man, she doesn't think this thing will work." I'm like, you know what? You know, I'm like, yeah, it looks like it. It's not gonna work. She can see it. She can sense it. You know. So,
Hmm.
but if you meet a 26-year-old girl in Nigeria, perhaps in Thailand, in in Rwanda or in Ethiopia, she's ready to go. You get it?
Hmm.
She is ready to go. Like all you need to do is to say the word. It doesn't matter if she's walking, if she's not walking. Doesn't matter if she's learned, if she's not learned. In most times at that age, they're looking for something way more serious.
Hmm.
But right here in the West, you find girls that are 29, 32. you'll be like, are you sure you're 32? Like, because they're still on that, oh, you know, independent, I'm this, I'm that. So it all depends on where you meet that person on, because usually women in like in developing countries or third world countries or emerging economies, they always seem to be more in need of a man than the ones in the West.
Mm.
And that's why I always say you have to be the one that has to be like, okay, what do I need this person for? Like, like I said, it has to be transactional on your side as well, not necessarily money, but on, okay, you need her for kids, you need her to raise a family. What do you actually need her to do for you? So I think
Mm.
that's how we should look at it. Yeah.
Wow, facts, absolute facts. Let me bring in Black Cleaner. If you got something to say, what's up, Black Cleaner? You good?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be on the panel once again. Um, I agree with what he's saying in some ways, but I also disagree with what he's saying in some ways. Like, I understand what he was saying. It's really about alignment. So, yes, you definitely need to be aligned with the person. And I always say this, okay? A guy is the table, and that's what women is looking for. They're looking for the guy to be the table, and a table has four legs. Okay, the four legs is to be the provider, the protector, the problem solver, and the progressor. Okay, but a man is looking for the star player. Okay, he wants a star to be sitting at his table, and a star has 5 points. So the 5 points is she has to have beauty, she has to have brains, she has to bring balance, she has to have a good behavior, and she also has to have a bond. Okay, in order for her to be a star player on your team. But also as well, what he was talking about before in terms of the women in the West and the women in the East. Okay, in the West, it's not really about the feminism per se. It's really about that there's a safety net in the West that is not available in these developing countries and in the East, because in the West they have job security. Okay, they have, and even if they didn't have job security, they still have welfare. They still have all of child support. They have all of these government safety nets, so that if something happens to their stability, the government is going to take care of them. Where in a lot of the developing countries and in the East, okay, the safety net is daddy. Daddy is the one who's responsible for taking care of the woman. And then when the woman gets married, okay, her husband becomes her new safety net, her new security blanket. So that's why a lot of times in the East, what happens is, yeah, you do see the women that are ready to, get from under daddy's roof and find a man and get married, because they're tired of being under there, and they're looking for to create their own family, but they're also looking for that new form of security. And I land there.
Okay, interesting, bro. No, that is a great point. Thank you for that, Black Kina. So probably later to stream, we're talking about multiple passports. Do you have multiple passports yourself?
I only got the blue book right now, and I'm working on my residency here in Panama. So I will have my residency before the year is out.
Perfect, bro. But I forgot to reach out to you on IG. You're supposed to do a stream, right? About Panama.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still up for that, bro?
Yeah, I'm definitely up for that.
Okay, I'll message you again, because I'm pretty sure I messaged you 2 weeks ago, bro. But I'll message you again. Let's set that stream up, bro, about Panama. And we'll get that done as soon as possible. Yeah, so, but yeah, so yeah, I think it's important to have multiple passports. Bro, do you have a condo in Panama? I'm assuming, or do you have any business interest in Panama?
Oh yeah. Right now I am working on creating a staffing agency here in Panama to get the Afro Latinos here working, because here in of course in Latin America there is it is a developing country, but the people who are running it is usually going to be the Panamanians, of course, and the Colombians that are usually running the infrastructure, and they only gonna, and of course, you have your Canadians, your Chinese, and your whites that are here that are able to create the businesses and help with the infrastructure. But a lot of them only hire people that look like them, which leaves the Afro Latinos, stuck in either the underground economy or the tourist economy. So it's up to us to be able to, tap into the using geo arbitrage, tap into some of that, help in developing the infrastructure and hire people that look like us, so that they can get, create jobs so that they can work as well.
You know what, brother? And I know we shit on the West a lot of the times, right? I know it's not perfect in the West, but one thing the West does that I respect, right, is like they try, although not perfect, right, to get away from, I'm a hire my own people, right? I know Indians do, I know Chinese do it, right? But for the most part across the Western Hemisphere, right, they look at your credentials first and, give you the job based on your skill set. And the problem with these foreign countries is that they only hire their own people. And at this point in time, we're sick of it. The Chinese do it, the Indians do it, and they do it, brother, right? So blatantly in foreign countries. How can you go to an African country or whatever country that's the majority black or whatever, right, and play those type of games there? And people don't call them out enough for that. It's effing annoying, right? And it does screw over the local population. So Panama isn't perfect, bro. I know there is some colorism there, racism there in Panama, but it's really sad to hear that Afro Latinos are going through that, bro, in Panama. That shocks me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a part of human nature. Okay, blackbirds is gonna look out for blackbirds. Doves is gonna look out for doves. You know what I'm saying? Parrots is gonna look out for parrots. So it's natural that the people who look like you are going to help other people that look like you. And it's up to us to be able to do the same thing, especially if we have the means. See, what happens is a lot of times what we do is, we fight through the mud, or as we say, we get it out of the mud. And then once we're able to get ourselves on our feet, then we leave the people that are, behind us, and, just go and, live our lives, because we work so hard to be able to get to where we're at that we forget where we came from. But but there are some people who, will wake up and they will say, hey, they get what they call, what is it, survivor's remorse. And they're saying, okay, I made it, but I'm the only one here that's made it, so I need to do something. And that's all it is. It just takes, the people who were able to make it to be able to say, something, I have enough, resources to be able to help one or two people. If everybody did that, instead of being a consumer, okay, and just consuming, because when you become a consumer, the only thing you're doing is making the people who oppressed you richer. But as soon as you say, something, let me do something to, produce something. And now you're able to create a job, you're able to create housing and food for the people, and be able to give them something to a leg up for them to be able to get on the same level as you.
Yep. Facts, bro. Absolute facts. Absolute facts, man. Wow. Brother, I gotta go. I've been here for 3 hours, brother. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for calling in, bro. We'll touch base on IG. Brothers, thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much for watching, man. If you're here, type 1 in the live stream chat. How did you find the live stream? Hope it was informational. But I appreciate all the callers. Shout out to all the super chat. Remember, join the Patreon if you want to support IP further as well. I really appreciate it, man. But if you're here, let me know what city, what country are you listening in from? What city, what country are you listening in from? We got Black Kina from Panama. Who else? Who else is out here? Who else is out here? What country? What city? Where are you listening from, brothers? Tamia, Florida. Shout out to Floridans. Anyone else? All right, brothers. California, accountability fit. Bro, I need you on that stream, man. When we do that stream about is $1 million enough? I want to hear your thoughts. Shout out to San Francisco. Shout out to California. Okay. All right, brothers. Peace out. Take it easy.